Now here's your host, Wilmot Mutty Perkins.
Okay, morning everybody, morning and welcome once again to Perkins Online. Well, I see the Mayor of Portmore is talking about a gun plot, what the Gleaner in its headline calls a gun plot for Portmore. More on the subject of guns being imported and stashed away in preparation for what must be looking like the bloodiest election in history. I'm sure that is what some people want us all to believe and to get into a panic. The Gleaner is telling us that, and this story is written by one Glenroy Sinclair and Robert Turner. And I don't know, Portmore Mayor George Lee says he has uncovered a plot by a powerful Spanish Town gang, which I take it is the Labour Party gang, or the One Order gang. I suppose that is what he has in mind. A powerful Spanish Town gang to facilitate the movement of a large stock of illegal guns into one of the underdeveloped communities in the Sunshine City, while not disclosing the exact location where the guns are going. The mayor said yesterday he was of the belief that the guns are being stockpiled to be used in the impending general election, which is constitutionally due this year. Well, I don't know that is true. Is it constitutionally due this year? Anyway, the interesting thing is the mayor is expressing his belief that the guns are being stockpiled in preparation for the election, which the Commissioner of Police has already told us is planned by these gangsters to be the bloodiest election, or to be a bloody election. That's what the commissioner says. Now, imagine this. The Gleaner is telling us, where is it now? The Gleaner is telling us in its headline, subhead, Mayor reveals plot to stash weapons in Sunshine City. Mayor reveals plot. Now, that is suggesting, as I understand the language, that means that there is a plot and that the mayor has revealed it. He has pulled away the covering from it and revealed it so that we can all see it. Is that what has happened? Journalism in Jamaica has come to a very low level, you know. And one of the problems with it is that one is getting the impression that the journalists don't really understand the language they're using. The mayor reveals plot. The plot is there, it's a reality. And the mayor is just uncovering it so that everybody can see it. What evidence has the mayor produced of a plot? He has said that there is a plot. He has said that that is his belief. But I am not aware that he has produced any evidence of such a plot. Nor has the Commissioner of Police, nor has Bishop Herod Blair, nor has Mr. what's his name? The young man who first came, the man who first came out with it. Horace Levy. Right? All of this is having an effect. It is terrifying people into demanding, to the point where they're demanding, some of them, some very vocal ones, and I don't know whether they are part of, well, I don't know. They're demanding some, what seems to be severe, extreme, and resolute measures. And I even hear them demanding the return of Renito Di Cordova Valentino Adams to the streets. He is the only policeman that can deal with this problem. Poor Jamaica. We have no idea how sad the situation we're in. People want more of the performances of Renito Adams. Um, 27 people blasted away and left to lie down on the street side in Western Kingston. For dogs to come and eat them. Their rotting flesh. People believe, and they want repetition of Britain and of Crawl. Or judgment of what fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reasons. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with the victims of Tivoli Gardens and of Brayton and of Crawl. And I must pause till they come back to me. Anyway, it does seem that, well, the government hasn't come forward with what it calls a new crime plan. But I gather that there are a number of communities mentioned that are going to be specially targeted. They're hot spots. And these, a lot of them seem to be PNP garrisons. You know, communities in St. James, including flankers, Salt Spring, Norwood, Glendevon, and Granville. Granville, yes. And then in Clarendon, no, there are some others too. And they go on. In Clarendon, some others in Clarendon, in Westmoreland, Seaforth, wherever, St. Thomas and so on. And there are some in the corporate area. But I don't see any mention of Tivoli. I don't see any mention of Tivoli. And going by the history of it, I don't see how you can be having an election, a big election like this one, a hot election, what might well be a bloody election, and nothing, a lot of PNP garrisons in the corporate area targeted, and no mention of Tivoli. How can that be? In 1993, there was an incident down in Tivoli where this tailor was allegedly found altering police and soldiers' uniforms with a bag of bullets in his tailor shop, and the gunmen ran out as the soldiers were coming in. The tailor was arrested, and the case dragged on and on and on and on, and just disappeared from the court sheets. 1997, remember that was the year when all those people were, was it? Yes, I think the year in which all those people were massacred. No. I think 1997 was the year when the 2 women or 3 women and a number of children were killed, including a little boy who was jumping up and down in his bed. And a bullet came in. And a bullet fired presumably by the police, I think it was, come and nearly blew off his head. And then 2000 and 93, 97, 202. Would that have been the year of the or was it 97? That would have been the year when the 27 people were slaughtered and left to rot on the streets. How can there be an election coming up and no plans for Tivoli, the mother of all garrisons? I laugh, but we take a break. Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. I see the Minister whom? The head of the Security Ministry. He isn't announcing his plans for dealing with this problem of crime coming up to the election. Announcing no such plans, not at the moment. I imagine those solutions would have to go to the cabinet. But there is talk of television, closed circuit television system in Montego Bay and a mobile police station. What is that about? I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. But I don't understand what a mobile police station is about. Is that a police station that is moving around or moving from place to place? Why move the whole... Well, I don't know. Or is it a police station that, has special provisions for police to be mobile? I don't know. I just wonder what that is about. Mobile police station. But I find the closed circuit television system interesting too. What are they going to have? Cameras on every street and at every street corner in Montego Bay? What a hell of a lot of cameras. Is it going to be only in Montego Bay? Because I gather the crime is occurring in other places in St. James. And it's no use having the cameras in Montego Bay if the crime is happening somewhere else, some distance from Montego Bay. I don't quite understand that. I'd like to have it explained. But I strongly believe that we are looking at the likelihood of a state of emergency. Right? Up to now, there is no evidence presented anywhere of any plot to make this election a bloody one. There's been no such evidence. But I'm sure that persons are beginning to think that plot must be coming from some source other than the government, A. And B, that there is a need for very severe measures to be implemented. And I'm sure that would make the government very happy. I'm a little surprised that nobody asked what's his name, Dr. Finn? Whether anybody asked, why nobody asked Dr. Finn whether he had any conversations with God about the state of emergency. Okay, let's get on with it. Telephones. Hello? Oh, incidentally, we've been hearing about record tourist arrivals. Now, the figure that is given, which is somewhere in the region of 3 million, is made up of stopover visitors, which is somewhere in the region of 1.3 million, I believe. And then cruise ship passengers, which is in the region of 1.7. So all the stopover visitors we've had is in the region of 1.3. How much of a record is that? And of the 1.7 that came in on cruise ships, how many of them actually came off of the ships? Interesting. The minister should tell us some more about that. I wonder if we could get her on this program. I rather doubt it. Okay, hello? Hello?
Morning, Mr. P.
Morning, sir. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good. I'll tell you something. The level that journalism has sunk to in this country.
Yes.
It's at its lowest ebb ever. If the Gleaner under Mr. Ashenine and Theodore Seeley printed a headline like that this morning, Mr. Ashenine would have Theodore Seeley inside and says, "What is this?
I suspect so.
What is this nonsense?
I strongly suspect
Where did you get it from?" And talk about the mayor reveal. What the mayor reveal?
Yes, indeed.
This is nonsense at its heights.
Well, they clearly do not understand what it is that they have said, right?
Yes.
The English language is
Yes.
a bit of a mystery to some of our journalists.
I don't know who writes this headline, but this, as English language, has definitely evaded them. It's way out of the depth.
Yes.
Now look, this sounds to me as if it's something written by the comic Scooby-Doo. Or it's written in a place down Nostron Avenue in Brooklyn. A pub named the Pumpkins, where the mayor knows it very well, and I know it because I have frequented it for near upon 3 years. Is something come out of that place? And now I listen to the superintendent, Mr. Terence Bent, this morning, and he's a he knows nothing about it, absolutely nothing about it. The next week, it is being intimated that the mayor might tell the commissioner, where is the stockpile? This is not a genuine citizen of this country. If you know we're going to stockpile, tell them now.
I should have thought
Let us get a move with it. If you really think about this country, why we have it in a limbo? Why shilly-shally and dilly-dally?
But the commissioner himself was telling us the other day about these stockpiles, you know.
No, he said some things. And there is something being done because they want to formulate a state of emergency again. You understand?
You think so?
I believe so. And I remember it. And that brings me to the point of Chief Justices. Because I used to go to the court, number 1 circuit court, when you had a Chief Justice named Colin McGregor.
Yes.
I know some Chief Justice. The last one we had was Edward Zaka. I know some Chief Justice. You have one who wrote a bit of foolishness, and I still maintain his foolishness, who says to give a criminal a gun was illegal but not corrupt. It was Smith, the one that named Kenji Smith, not Smith.
Yes.
He says it was illegal but not corrupt.
Yes.
That is nonsense. How can you get something illegal but not corrupt?
Well,
look here. That brings me to the point.
Not only that.
Yes.
I mean, you might mistakenly break a stoplight or something of the sort.
Yes.
And it might then be said that it is illegal but not corrupt.
Yes, sir.
But if you give a gun.
Yes.
To a man with 16 previous convictions.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
For the convenience of the party, and use public money to buy that gun to
buy that gun.
Right?
Right.
I really don't see how that can be not corrupt.
Not corrupt. And you have the girl and the guts to put that on paper?
Well.
At an inquiry?
Yes.
Look here. Now, that brings me to the point that the judiciary, presently as we speak, is in a mess. I hear somebody flying a kite to say that they would like to move the age of retirement up to, I don't know what. It was Mr. Anki Panky who came with that one.
Yes.
Learned Attorney General A.J. Nicholson. Now...
Hold on just a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, Miss Shirley Richards?
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Of the, what do you call it again? The Christian Lawyers Fellowship?
The Lawyers Christian Fellowship.
The Lawyers Christian Fellowship.
Yes, yes.
Let me ask you something. one gets the impression that the Lawyers Christian Fellowship is preoccupied with sex. The last time you were before Parliament with proposals,
Yes.
it had to do with homosexuality.
Not only that, the major part of our presentation actually had to do with freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion?
Yes, you possibly forgot that.
Oh, I didn't remember that
In
part.
fact, if we spent 3 hours in Parliament, 2 hours were dedicated to that issue alone.
That was the time with the homosexuality?
Both of them came up at the same time.
Oh, well.
We had a part 1 and a part 2, but the
Well,
majority
maybe
of
what
time,
happened was that the media neglected the...
maybe, but the majority of time spent in Parliament was dealt with dealing with issues relating to freedom
with
of
what?
religion.
Freedom of religion.
As we saw it in the Charter.
Uh-huh.
As we saw it affected in the Charter.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, but what problem was there with freedom of religion in Jamaica?
We were just very concerned that the Charter could have the effect of limiting the freedom that we now enjoy.
Oh, I see.
Yes, you didn't
That
know,
is the
you didn't realize
proposed
that.
charter.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know, certain things were left out, and certain things which are now in the current constitution were omitted, and we were just very, very concerned that they should be back in the
Yes.
Charter.
But I got the impression from what I remember seeing in that proposed charter,
Yes.
that there was far more wrong with it than any endangerment of freedom of religion.
Okay. Like, what else were you thinking of?
Well, for example,
Yes.
there was a they're always qualifying. They in the present constitution,
Yes.
we have rights enumerated. But for every right that is enumerated, there are except that, provided that.
Yes.
Right?
Even with freedom of religion. It's yeah.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
In the United States, they have had their Charter of Rights for a little over 200 years now.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They have been through wars and all kinds of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the Charter of Rights never presented any difficulty. And they don't have the kinds of qualifications that we have in ours. Right? The limitations. Right? Now that seems to me to be a fundamental problem. And I saw a proposed Charter of Rights that had they decided to remove all the individual qualifications.
Yes.
And they had a thing about except as may be necessary in a free and in a what? Free
democratic society.
and democratic society. Right? And then you get the right. Which is a load of nonsense. I mean, who decides what is necessary in a free and democratic society?
Well, what do you think? That there should be no restrictions at all?
No, you should have your freedoms. There should be no restriction. The only restriction on your freedom is where you use it where you would use it to destroy the rights and freedoms of others.
Yes, but isn't it true that how we behave affect the rest of society?
I beg your pardon?
Isn't it true that how we behave affect the rest of society has an implication for the rest of society?
Well, how we behave, how one behaves privately,
Yes.
affects the rest of society?
Yes, you don't think so?
In what way?
Well, for example.
If I drink coffee at 12 o'clock at night,
Yes.
that affects the rights of anybody else in the society.
All right. That's interesting that you mentioned coffee. If you drink coffee and you discourage your child to drink coffee, you say to him, listen,
speak up a bit for me.
Oh, sorry. At this stage of your life, are you hearing me better?
Yes, very well.
Sorry. At this stage of your life, coffee is really not an appropriate drink for you. Stick with Milo or cocoa. He is going to very likely one day aspire to drink coffee and may even be tempted to do so in your absence.
Who is that, a child?
The child in your house.
Yes.
Or anybody else. Or, yes, any child looking on. Because he looks up to Mr. Perkins as a role model. And this is what Mr. Perkins does. So he's going to aspire to drink coffee. So it's just that our behavior, I don't think it's quite accurate to think that our behavior does not influence others. It does. And to a very great extent.
Our behavior may well influence others.
It influences the young. And so then we have to think, how do we want our young people to grow up?
Yes.
Yes.
But then, who is going to determine whether I can drink coffee at 12 o'clock at night?
Well then.
And if somebody has the power to make that decision, am I a free man?
Well, do you believe in total freedom, Mr. Perkins?
I believe in that, yes, I believe that we should be free, except to the point where our freedom, we are using our freedom, or we intend to use our freedom in ways that are injurious to others.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. That even those things which we think may not be injurious to others could in fact be injurious to others.
Well, what you say there about somebody patterning his behavior of yours.
Yes.
Right? I don't think that can be used to limit me. If somebody looks at me and decides that he wants to live as I live,
you should then be very careful how you live.
No. But
no?
Hold on now. That person has a mind of his own, right? He is making his own choice.
Yes.
Right? And if he chooses to do what I do, well, somebody might come and say to him, look here, that fellow Perkins is a bit of an ass. Don't follow him. Right? And lots of people may come and advise him that way. And he may take that advice. But the decision is his.
Yes, but you as an individual, you don't think that you would have a responsibility to others who look up to you and to encourage to be role models?
Well, but they are free too. Under the Constitution, they should be free to make their own choices. Right? Now, how the choice that they make may meet with your disapproval. Right? But that is neither here nor there. They make their choice, you make yours.
Yes, but all I'm saying is that I think it is a somewhat, forgive me, naive view to think that what we do not, in private, do not affect others. It does.
Well, it does in the sense that they look on, they see what you're doing, and they may decide to go along with it. But they may decide otherwise. The decision is theirs. As long as as each person has the right to make his own decision, then fine, nothing wrong.
So what about the concept then of a duty to society?
A duty to society.
A duty to be a role model, a duty to model those things which are good. So that even though you are free, yet because you live in a society, you have a duty to model those values which are good. What do you say to that?
I have a duty to do I have certain duties to the society and to the state, right? But I'm free. I'm free to make decisions, my own decisions, insofar as my own personal tastes and so on are concerned.
Yes.
Right?
But
let's go to the question.
Okay, go ahead.
You, as I say, you The lawyers seem to have a preoccupation
Sorry,
with
before
sex.
you move on, though, let me just give you this quote from William Temple,
Yes.
who was Archbishop of England during the war time, I think. He says...
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Yeah, oh, right.
Uh-huh.
So you're familiar with the gentleman?
No. Archbishop Temple?
Yes.
Yes, I know of him.
Ah, good man. I've been enjoying his writings. He says, there's a quote from him. He says, this self-centered freedom, that is, I'm the master of my fate, is a snare to the individual and a menace to society.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what William Temple said. I think it's something that we need to consider on.
Yes.
Anyway, you wanted to move on.
But religion is not to be trusted in these spheres,
Tell me why not.
Well, you know that the modernization of Europe began with what was called the, oh God, word has gone out of my head. With the divorce between politics and government and religion.
The modernization of Europe began with that?
Yes.
Tell me what you mean by that.
It's called the... Oh, damn. I have it. The Enlightenment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was what the Enlightenment was essentially about, wasn't it?
Repeat.
The Enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
What is called the Enlightenment in European history.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Began with the divorce between politics and religion.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And people like Archbishop Temple, judgments like those,
Right.
are not to be relied upon, you know.
No, but...
Archbishop Temple can make his own decisions, or could, and decide what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whether he wanted to spend his time on his knees or doing something useful. And other people can make their decisions too.
Right.
Right?
You know...
But that is one of the things that concerns me.
Yes.
That the Christian lawyers, or Lawyers Christian Fellowship, seems to be trying to inject religion more and more. And it is happening elsewhere. I mean, Sister P was ordained by God, and I see parsons flocking round her and making prophecies. Will you hold on for a moment for me, please? Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, Mom.
Yes, sir. Before I answer that, I just want to backtrack a little. You mentioned Europe. You know, and I promise to come back to what you said about us wanting to inject religion. Late in October, I think it was, Ian Boyne wrote a very interesting article. I've been meaning to search for it and preserve it.
Up with your voice.
Yes, sorry. Late in October, thereabouts, 2006, Ian Boyne wrote a very interesting article just tracing how Christianity affected Europe, and basically that some of the good things that they have are as a result of their early Christian influences.
Is that so?
And so the interesting question for us all to watch and see is this: can a tree survive without its roots?
Well, you know that,
and the same thing for America.
I don't know.
Can a tree survive without its roots?
You know that Christianity very nearly destroyed Europe.
Tell me about it. Tell me now.
You never heard of the 100 Years' War?
Tell me about it. Remind me what century that was.
This was, well, it ended in 1560.
That was between Spain and England,
Am I right? No, it was the Treaty of Westphalia, I think.
No, man. That
what?
treaty... No. All right, you tell me.
Well, it is the Protestants and the Catholics.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes, the war between them.
Yes. But I think fortunately we have moved on. You know, in terms of
and moved on.
Yes.
And moved on as a result of the Enlightenment. As a result of the removal of religion from the sphere of politics. Yes.
Moving religion from the sphere of politics.
Yes.
Right. Yes, but there's some basic traditions which remain. You know, the English society, in terms of the things it values, I would maintain that is all as a result of the religious traditions which they embraced centuries ago. You know, and so that's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting to see if these countries can survive having cut off their roots.
But when you look at the Middle East today,
yes,
what you see is countries that are, you know, under the control of religious values, the Islamic tradition, and not only that, within Islam, they're the same divisions that they were with Christianity in Europe, and that's what they're fighting about: the Sunnis and the Shiites and other groups of them.
Well, Amber Osguinness was here a couple of years ago, Dr. Osguinness, and he says one of the big questions of the century will be this: will Islam modernize?
Yes.
You know, that's one of the big
enlightenment
questions.
Come to Islam?
Will Islam modernize? But to get back
and the Americans, many of whom left Europe, fleeing religious persecution. Yes. They put it into their constitution that
what?
Well, they read the First Amendment to the American Constitution.
That says what?
Congress shall make no law relating to the religious practice or whatever.
Right. But the whole concept of separation of religion and state is not in the Constitution, though.
Where?
It's not in the U.S. Constitution.
Yes, it is.
It isn't. Find it and fax it to me, and I'll eat my words. It's not there.
Look at the First Amendment.
That word separation is not there, sir. It's not there. It's in a letter written by Jefferson, but it's not in the U.S. Constitution.
Congress shall make no law relating to the
establishment of any religion.
Yes.
Something like that.
Anything, nothing to do with religion.
But I can tell you, the whole thing of separation of powers is not directly referred to in the U.S. Constitution.
Separation of powers?
Yeah.
No, separation.
Separation of church and state. I'm sorry. It's not there. It's in a letter written by Jefferson.
I know.
All right.
But I also know that it is also a fact that religion. The implication of the First Amendment is that religion is not to influence lawmaking in
I would say
in the United States.
All right, it was to protect the church from the influence of politics.
Man, it was to protect the church. It was to
Let me tell you why I say so, because at the same time that very early after the Constitution was passed, laws were passed using state money to fund church schools, and I can show you the data.
Yes.
So
but that is a different thing.
It's not a different thing.
Yes.
These are schools which are teaching theology and so on. Laws were passed and said, listen, allow X amount of money to go to that school. So it wasn't interpreted in the way it is now being interpreted. It was something to protect the church. Remember now the context. These people were fleeing from religious persecution. That's the context of the U.S. Constitution, fleeing from religious persecution.
Now remember that this provision was an amendment.
All right.
And it depends on when those decisions were made.
But the history of the thing.
And this didn't come into force till the last decade of
but you remember the history. Just remember the history. So, I mean, it could very well be that it was meant to protect the church against the
influence people were free
of the government.
People were free to worship as they liked. Right?
But not in England. So when they came to the States,
that changed too with the Enlightenment in England. People were free to to worship as they elect.
Yes, but
Anyway, let's get on to it.
All right.
Let me ask you about this cousin problem.
The cousin problem?
Yes.
Then why are you asking me? But anyway, go ahead.
But no, isn't it your group that put it up?
No, sir, it was a bar association, so you need the president of the bar. You have the wrong person.
Hold on. It's not the Christian bar.
No, sir.
It's the bar association.
The bar association who put forward the cousin and cousin business.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, sir.
I wonder why.
If it was us, we would have been crucified a long time. By Wednesday evening, we would have been crucified.
I wonder why the bar association.
But then you need to call the president and ask.
Who is the president?
Mr. John Leiber.
Mr. John Leiber.
Mm-hmm.
And they want cousin marriages to be prohibited?
Yes, it wasn't. All right, we didn't put it up. But let me tell you the thinking, and I don't. To tell the truth, I'm not in favor for a number of reasons. But let me tell you the thinking behind it.
Uh-huh.
The thinking behind it is that the cousin tends to be a culprit in these incestuous cases.
Tends to be a what?
A culprit. In order to make an experience.
Uh-huh.
The bigger cousin, especially the male, tends to be a culprit in the family home in terms of sexual abuse. And so the intention was to bring the cousin within the Incest Act. The problem is that if you do that, you're going to also have to prohibit cousin and cousin from getting married.
Uh-huh.
And they are not presently part of the prohibited list of consanguinity. Right? So you need to talk to Mr. John Leiber about it. But that was the problem. To my mind, the cousin thing going to have to remain as rape, and not incest.
I thought.
No, sir.
I thought that it was you people who wanted this.
No, it wasn't us. It's a jambar.
I see. Now, what is all this about changing the law in relation to sexual offences?
Right. But you don't want to ask me about the other thing too that everybody else has gotten excited about.
Which other one?
We are the ones who propose that we have a new section that deals with indecent assault, or something maybe akin to indecent assault in the home. To just cover the cases.
You mean fondling?
Yes, that's what I mean. People have been, I think, almost deliberately misinterpreting.
Yes, but yes, I'm interested in knowing. What does that mean?
Yeah, just to cover cases where there is the fondling and so on in the home. Because right now, incest only relates to penetrative sex. Right?
Yes.
It doesn't really
But but there is indecent assault.
But it's not in the Incest Act, so it's in the...
So what?
No, but in order to help us as a society, our proposal is this: in order to help us as a society to establish boundary lines in the family, bring it in as a part of the Incest Punishment Act. So that it help us as a people to understand that there are boundary lines. So it's not that, for example, a father cannot bathe his 3-year-old or 5-year-old daughter. But when it comes to bathing the 10-year-old or 12-year-old daughter, no, that's a different story. Yeah, so we're just saying bring it in to help us to understand better that there are boundary lines in family relationships. And so that's our concern. I remember the mother who called me and said, Miss Richards, I don't know what to do. My husband taking out my daughter for drives, and when he does that, he is there feeling up her breasts and trying to kiss her. At this point, those things would not be covered under the Incest Punishment Act.
No, but it would be an indecent assault.
Yes, I'm not denying that.
And it would be punishable in law.
I'm not denying that.
So what's the problem?
I'm just saying bring it into the Incest Punishment Act so that you help our people to understand that it is a special offense in the home. Make it a special offense for the home situation.
What is the merit of that?
To help people to understand the boundary lines in family relationships.
Oh. Well, you think they have difficulty understanding now?
Absolutely, sir.
Oh.
All right?
I don't see why they should.
I don't see why they should either, but I think there is. But you wanted me to talk about the sexual intercourse.
Yes.
Thing. Right. Yes, this proposed definition. It is a redefinition of sexual intercourse. So certain acts included anal sex, that is buggery under the law, and oral sex, along with manipulation by inanimate objects, have now all been elevated to the status of sexual intercourse. And so we are saying...
That has been done.
That's the proposal.
Oh, you're proposing that?
No, we're not proposing that. No, sir. That's in the law. That is what is being proposed.
Oh.
And so we are just pointing out the difficulty with that.
What is the difficulty?
The difficulty is you are now elevating these things to the status of sexual intercourse. As a society, we now understand sexual intercourse to be vaginal intercourse between a man and a woman. Now you're elevating all these other types of sexual activity to sexual intercourse.
Let me ask you. You're familiar, aren't you, with a work called Law and Public Opinion in England in the 19th century?
By who?
Oh God, what is his name? My head is bad.
Your head, Mr. Perkins?
Yes, it's bad like hell.
Oh, sure.
I can't remember his name at the moment.
But if you
it's a famous work. Law and Public Opinion in England in the 19th century.
I'll go and look it up. Tell me the author.
Yes. And there is a passage in it.
Yes.
Where he says that, I can't be sure that I'm quoting it exactly, but I mean word for word, but I'm giving it a meaning.
Yes.
That Chatham, Lord Chatham, was the greatest, William Pitt, was the greatest statesman of his day and generation.
Okay.
And yet, there is not a single piece of legislation that stands in his name. And he goes on to explain that in those days, the function of Parliament was not seen as being there to constantly to be changing the laws. Right? The law was there and established. Right? All right, situations may arise in which there is a need to bring in new legislation. But that should be rare. They shouldn't be there interfering with the law.
Well, you sound like we're both on the same wavelength.
Right? Oh, you agree with that?
Yes.
But nowadays, every 5 minutes, Parliament is changing. They're constantly interfering with the law and making it worse than it was.
Yeah.
In the majority of instances.
And I think we need to just be very, very careful.
Hold on just a moment.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mum. We're back with you.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to remember where we were.
Yes, I was talking about the...
Yes, you're saying Parliament changing the law every minute,
yes,
right?
and fiddling around with the law. And making it, making it far worse than it was. And having no respect, really, for the law.
Right. I have a quote here. It says, one of the marks of the modern mind is an abrasive arrogance that assumes the past is useless in dealing with the present problems of the present. And so we have this arrogance that because we are modern people, we need to interfere with established concepts. And I'm just saying tread very, very carefully because there are implications.
Yes, well, I mean, this business of prohibiting cousin marriages seems to me to be absurd.
Yeah.
And I mean, one could as well prohibit marriage, because if you allow men to go courting girls, you never can tell what might happen when they're gone out at night or something, and the man may turn and rape her or something. So you should prevent that happening.
Right.
And possibly go back to the point where, the families got together and arranged the marriage, and the people just complied.
You're not in for the Hollywood romantic notions, Mr.
Absolutely,
Perkins?
yes.
You're not in for that?
Eh?
You're not in for the romantic notions?
No, I'm saying that
perpetrated by Hollywood?
I would suggest that logically, that is the direction in which the Bar Association should go.
Oh, boy. Would you like me to tell you how to get in touch with Mr. Leiber? I'm sure you could put that proposition to him.
Yes, indeed. I mean, if cousins are to be prohibited from marrying.
Yes.
Because that may mean one cousin doing something wrong in the home.
Yes.
Man and woman should be prohibited from marrying, because it's even more likely that the man may do something wrong outside.
True, but that's not quite the point they were making. They were just saying, listen, the male cousin tends to be one of the perpetrators in the home in terms of sexual abuse.
Yes, but the boyfriend might tend to be one of the perpetrators outside the home.
I hear you. I hear you. And so then what we need to do is to enforce the law regarding rape.
Eh?
What we need to then do is enforce the law regarding rape.
Well, then what we ought to do is enforce the law regarding rape within the home, or
it will be just rape generally, just rape.
whatever. Yes.
That's what we need to do. And
I don't see why we should. I see no reason why cousins should be prohibited from marrying. I don't know that any ill effect springs from it.
Yeah, I don't know that myself.
Yes.
I really don't know that.
Yes.
But to be fair to the bar, they had the support of Senator Norman Grant. You know, you possibly could speak to him as well. Who says
yes, and who says that cousins marrying. There's a comparison between cousin marrying cousin and brother marrying sister.
I don't know if I can't recall him saying
I saw that in the paper.
Okay.
I saw that in the meeting.
I can't recall him saying that. But if you saw that, that's fine. I think he was speaking from his perspective as a farmer. So you need to talk with him.
Yes, in the same way that in breeding is livestock. Farmers don't practice don't inbreed their cattle. Then, we shouldn't inbreed our human beings.
Yes, he was saying something to that effect.
And that cousin marrying cousin is like brother marrying sister, which is nonsense. You know that.
Yeah. Well, as I said personally, I see the problem. But it's not something we advocated, and it's not something we would advocate, or support.
Yes.
Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too, sir. All the best.
Okay, hello? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Perkins. Nice talking to you, sir.
Morning to you too.
I have a question to ask you, sir. What is the role of a JP in a community, sir?
The role of a what?
Justice of the peace.
Of a justice of the peace? Well, there are certain duties that they have. In relation to people signing documents and identifying people if you want to get a passport. Well, and they also act as judges in the Petty Sessions Court.
Yes, sir. I have been going to one over a month now in our community here in St. Andrew, to be exact, Brandon Hill.
And what?
We have been going to one in our community here in Brandon Hill, St. Andrew, over here now. And every time you go there, it tells you to come back Monday, come back Wednesday, come back next week.
Oh, is that so?
And you keep going. I don't know what the word to use, if you're obligated or what is the real purpose. But how can you know everyone that's living in a community? Can you know everybody that live in a community? And then even if you live there and you don't know you personally, somebody from there might know you, will know you and tell him them whatever. And if you don't want to do that service to you, tell you, because it's not fair for you to go outside of your community and to be asked to get that service, which I think it is a community service.
Well, I think that, which ministry is it now? Is it the Ministry of Justice? I'm not sure. But you ought to bring this to their attention.
I think so, sir, because you need your TRN, you need your driver's license, you need to renew your passport, those little things. And those things can hold you back, because if you don't get that paper signed...
And he knows you.
Sir?
He knows it. It's not a matter of his not knowing you.
Pardon me, sir?
Me say him know you.
Yes, he knows.
You come from in the district and him know you.
Yeah, he partially knows me because I told
Yes,
him.
so there's no problem of his identifying you.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Uh-huh.
no.
And other people are having the same
Yes.
problem with him?
Yes, it's like, it's a cocky way of him. When you go there, it doesn't, it's like, he's not rendering the service, something to that effect.
Yes.
We're
Well,
having problems. So we'd like to know if there's an organization or someplace that you could go and say,
I
check
think
somebody.
it is, I suspect, Mom, I suspect that it would be the Ministry of Justice.
Well,
right?
Yes, sir.
But in any event, if they would be able to tell you where, if not them. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Perkins,
Okay.
thank you very much, sir.
Okay. If not they. Hello?
Mr. V.
Yes, sir, yes. How are you? I'm sorry to have interrupted our
Right.
conversation.
Anyway, we're back at this judiciary.
Yes.
The judiciary in this country, I remember about 15 years ago, it can't be more than that the ages of retirement was changed from 67 to 70. Somebody, and more so it's a minister,
Yes.
who is flying a kite, to change it now. I want to leave it open-ended so that some of the friends can stop there forever. Now, I am in total disagreement with it. They have not made any indelible mark on the judiciary that you could say they should be remembered or they should sit there forever. It doesn't work like that.
Well, I tell you something, sir. I'm not here discussing, particular cases here in Jamaica.
Yes, sir.
But in the United States, there is, I believe, no limit to the tenure, no age limit to the tenure of a federal judge.
Yes.
And there have been some pretty distinguished judges.
Yes.
Who have been kept on.
Yes.
Who have kept going in the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And people have been happy for them to do so.
Yes.
Until they are well into their 80s.
Yes.
There was one particular one, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he was well into the 80s.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And functioned effectively. And people wanted him to continue.
Yes.
But the problem with the judiciary here, as I see it, sir, is the way in which judges are chosen. Right? Our Constitution is a flawed document, if ever there was one.
It is.
Right?
And we are willing to tinker with it now.
Yes.
We are willing to tinker with it now and fly a kite. A few weeks ago, we were willing to tinker with it to change part of the Constitution for fundraising. Now we want to tinker with it to extend.
Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. Back here online.
I had the privilege of reading the memoirs of a British judge, Lord Chief Justice Parker. Mr. P?
Yes, I'm hearing.
And I read about Lord Acton. I read about Lord Denning. He was Master of the Rolls.
Yes.
He had the opportunity of saying to a government minister, be you ever so high, the law is above you.
Yes.
And Lord Widgery, W-I-D-G-E-R-Y, Lord Chief Justice McKinnon, and I could go on. I remember some great judges in this Jamaica. One named Justice Ira Rowe. One named Justice Uriah Parnell.
Yes.
Now, what we have brought the present crop to shambles. It's not working well. And who should retire should just go home and go home gracefully. I remember this present Chief Justice gave some people some work, some overtime work. And the press interviewed him and asked him about it, why they can't get pay. And he called them up and says, who gave this story to the press? And none of them answered. And his retort was, if you want war, is war you will get.
No, sir, I don't remember him saying that in any such context.
I remember that.
Oh.
And I remember I've got papers here where the lawyers could not get the pay. And presently, as we speak, the place down there is ill-kept. It's not in a good condition. There is other judges. Last week they appointed 5 judges. There is other judges that is due to go home. They all should go home because they are sitting in the way of other young, brilliant judges. And there is one I make mention of. I don't know if he'll ever get to go there, but he worked very well. It was a senior resident magistrate named Glenn Brown.
Yes.
There is a lot of resident magistrates who should move up the ladder. And we want to think and move the age to satisfy our cronies and our oppos, to stop and clutter up the place. Who must go home? By the grace of God, let them go. And if you're going to make an assault on the Constitution of Jamaica, if you're going to assault the Constitution, don't go about it in a hodgepodge manner. You must go about it because the Constitution affects all of us.
But
all of
sir,
us in this country.
Hold on. There's a potential in the case of judges.
Yes, sir.
For a man to, let us say, he's a good man.
Yes.
He's a good material.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And he is there on the bench.
Yes, sir.
For 20 years.
Yes, sir.
And he accumulates further experience.
Yes.
And now he is 70 years old.
Yes.
And the time has come, the law requires him at that point to be retired. Right?
Yes.
What you're doing is almost virtually throwing into the waste paper basket all those years of accumulated experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it seems to me that if the man is in good condition, he's healthy, he's fit, his mind is working, that you don't want to get rid of such a man. You want to keep him.
Yes.
Right?
But sir.
Now,
you don't want to keep moving the goalposts.
Yes. But a judgment has to be made. I mean, it is now a question of who answers those criteria and who does not.
That's right.
Or who fits those criteria.
Who fits
right?
it. That's right.
And the problem begins, in my view, with the issue of appointment.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
Because what we have in Jamaica today is a system where, well, we know that our politics is corrupt, don't we?
We know that.
Right.
Undoubtedly.
And we have a system in which corrupt politics can readily enter into the choice of judges.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
And it seems to me that is one of our foremost objectives should be to get rid of that system, or is almost a lack of system, right?
That's it.
Where the Prime Minister can appoint a Chief Justice. And, well, when I say can appoint, can determine who is to be Chief Justice.
Who is to be.
And if what you have is a corrupt Prime Minister, right, then the likelihood is that you will get a corrupt Chief Justice.
Of course, of course.
One man, I mean, and his selection, he hasn't got to explain to anybody the basis upon which he has done this.
Not at all.
In the United States, the president doesn't have that power, you know.
No.
Right?
He got to come before a committee.
He can nominate a person to fill a position on the Supreme Court, right? But that person has to go before the Judiciary Committee.
You remember Clarence, I don't remember his surname, Clarence something.
Oh.
They grilled him rigorously.
Yes.
He was grilled rigorously.
Yes.
Look, our system is presently, as we speak, is not working. Take a department like the DPP. Now, 5 of them resign on that department. The way it was investigated a few years ago, Mr. Milligan, they got somebody, the former Prime Minister got somebody to investigate.
Yes.
And we never got the report. I remember that the deputy DPP, the senior deputy DPP, Mrs. Llewellyn, acted in a position for 3 years.
Yes.
3 years, and she wasn't appointed. And when the question come up for her appointment, the now DPP said she wasn't qualified. And when he was asked to evaluated her, he says he did. Now that woman eventually was appointed, and she's doing a tremendous job. Now that department is having a hemorrhage. A hemorrhaging.
Well, but we don't know why.
Attorneys is leaving that department left, right, and center.
Well.
What is the reason for that? It wants to be examined. Before I go, I want you to look at and listen to this one. Whoever, people talking about negative and positive. Positive is whoever appointed Mr. Dean Pate and Mr. Harry Douglas to the Ministry of Local Government. It's a stroke of genius. I don't know if you remember going to the War Theatre and seeing Bim and Bam. They remind me of Bim and Bam.
What ministry?
Ministry of Local Government and National Solid Waste. Solid Waste come under the same thing. Mr. Harry Douglas told us that it was the JLP who started the fire out of the waste place.
Well, I don't know if he said that they started the fire.
Yes.
Or that...
He tacked it right on. He flowed right.
He seems to have implied that there were persons associated with the...
Yes.
Did he actually call the JLP?
Yes, he said it. They started
No, he said politics.
Other programs.
No, he said politics.
No.
These persons had a political interest or political concern.
It never gained traction.
And they were making it difficult or sabotaging the efforts to put out the fire.
That argument never gained traction, and he dropped it. Now, Mr. Peart, if you listen to a program last Friday, he says, in recalling his friend to have a discussion or whatever with him, the man who told all Jamaica to shut the damn mouth, Mr. Stewart, Alston Stewart.
Yes.
He says he had to call his friend because he knows nothing about extinguishing smoke and fire. He was coming along Spanish Town Road last Friday morning.
But what I'm wondering now is how are they going to bring back Mr. Olson Stewart permanently into the National Solid Waste Management Authority?
In an interview,
because you can't put aside a man like that. I mean, if he's the only man in Jamaica who knows how to put out a fire.
Who knows about it? His friend, he says he called his friend for advice. It sounds to me like when I went to War Theatre and I hear Bim and Bam, and Bim said to Bam, that's a catastrophe. And Bam said, what you mean catastrophe? You understand?
Yes.
And that is what that ministry, it's a genius to put those two men together in that ministry.
I see.
And I'm willing to give you a bet that department, the National Solid Waste, has cost Jamaica more money, more than all parish councils put together.
Yes.
You want to bet that?
I should not be surprised.
And get Mr. Ralston's green spin to total up how much money that department costs us. A lot of money.
All right, sir.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Good.
Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes.
How you sound so chirpy?
Do I sound chirpy?
Yeah, man. It seems like the new year agree with you, man.
You're joking.
Yeah, man. You sound chirpy, man.
Well, I'm young, you know.
Yeah?
I'm young.
Of course you are young. You're
Yes.
young as you are.
I'm a youth.
You're young, man, because your voice is so sweet and outstanding.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, man.
But
And you know, you plenty people tell you about it.
I tell you something. I was thinking of the same thing about the voice that I'm hearing.
Mr. P.
Yes?
I want to talk to you about now. As I heard you yesterday, was saying people is calling God name and not even know why they are calling God name. And the people them...
Well, they know why they're calling God name.
Mr.
Right?
Perkins, you can read. You know better than that. Don't you know the Bible says the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. And these men who going around say the reverend this and the reverend that, you know they are taking the stand of God, because God say, call no man on earth reverend, or call no man holy father, because the only reverend, you find that in Psalms 111, say holy and reverend is my name, and where him say call no holy man father is in Matthew. I don't remember definite the chapter, but these men will go around and say them are reverend this and reverend. They are
hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
Yes, Mr. P. You know what hurt me? When Prime Minister P.J. Patterson was in power, or any one of the men, you never hear these reverend come out and say them, according to them, reverend. May God help me and forgive me. You never hear none of them come out and say, them prophesy about this and what is that and the devil knows what. Why now the Honorable Portia Simpson, they are coming around and say this thing live?
Because she herself announced shortly after she became Prime Minister that it was God that had anointed her Prime Minister, and that the church and all Christians therefore had an obligation to support her.
Then why them never come out and prophesy, say God give them?
And God would deal with them if they did not.
Mr. Perkins, when you hear fables and rubbish, you know better than that. You don't believe it. They are going around, them just want to leave the church to get out and things like that, and just come around and say them prophesy. And many of them will say them prophesy this is never fulfilled yet. And the Bible says in Jeremiah, anytime you want to know when something happen, when is a man of God come around, you're going to see the thing that they prophesy come to pass.
Yes.
If it don't come to pass, they are not from God. Were you watching...
you know, Mom.
Yes, sir.
The way our politics runs in this country, people have a way of have an interest very often in getting close to a person of power.
Exactly.
Because there are benefits that might flow from this.
Exactly.
And therefore,
Yes, exactly. Because she's a woman, them never said to go to the men with that. Because she's a woman now, they are going to be benefited, so they are going around. But may the Lord have mercy upon them. Mr. P, was you watching Ian Boyne show Tuesday night with the two
homosexuals? Yes.
Mr. P, you can imagine. You see, the Bible says, in the last days men shall run from the truth and hold on to fables, and they shall have itching ears, which is true. One of them was a Baptist preacher, and one of them was some holiness or something, but there were two church, which is two good church, and thing like that. And you mean to say sin reached the man, and that them left it and gone turn homosexual God, when God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and him saying the last day men shall leave the woman, the natural use of the woman, and burn in lust, man to man, woman to woman. And this is exactly what, and say them I go build church in Jamaica, Mr. P, that can't happen.
I tell you something. I believe in the value of freedom.
Yeah.
Right? I think people should be free. Persons should be free to make their own decisions and to effect their own choices.
Yes, Mr.
Provided only that in doing so, they do no injury to others.
No one.
Right? Now, where I have I have no problem with these men being homosexuals. If that is what they want,
They choose.
well, fine.
Because people have choices.
Has nothing to do with me. The problem I see with them is that they are Christian clergy and they uphold the Bible. And as Mr. Ian Boyne pointed out to them, the Bible repeatedly condemns homosexuality. So it seems to me that there's a contradiction between their practice of homosexuality and their Christian supposed belief and the upholding of the Bible, right? And they're telling people, preaching the gospel and holding up the Bible and inviting or invoking obedience to it. But they are practicing something quite different.
Because I notice when Ian reading the scripture to them, they are trying to say it was something different. And Mr. P, let me tell you the God's truth. They are just, I don't know, but the little younger children that's coming up into society.
Yes.
When children will live what they learn, and they are going to pattern what is going on and things like that. But may God help that. Me not think no church I go come to Jamaica like that though. I don't believe.
You don't think so?
Because a gay pastor preach to gay man and gay woman in a society where people, decent children live. No man, nobody can give them the grant to come in a Jamaica can do that, Mr. P. That would be totally against Jamaica, and I know we would know who is who. Mr. Perkins, you have a good day, yes, sir.
Okay, Mom. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, hello?
We would know who is who. Mr. Perkins,
Hello?
have a good day, yes, sir.
Okay, Mom. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to the radio, sir. Oh, ma'am.
Hello.
Turn it off and listen to the phone. Hello?
You're listening to the radio, sir.
No. I think we're going to have to.
Hello?
Oh, well, we're just about to leave you,
Okay.
You're listening to the radio, eh?
Yes, man, I do some work because a long time I hold on some inside. Man, I do some inside work. Meanwhile,
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm sorry about
hear
that.
the radio.
You're doing some work.
Yes, inside work.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, so man, I work, I read now, I work, so I listen to the radio. So,
Sorry to keep you waiting so long.
how's everything?
Not too bad.
I tried to get you all the while. And so first time on your program,
Oh, well, you have done it now.
Yes, and I really enjoy your program.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. What my topic, you see? You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yes, I just started to talk about the country. We don't see no headway in this country,
You don't see any headway.
From bad to worse, I tell you, with the crime and violence and all kind of things.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, we don't see no hope.
You don't see any hope. You can't afford to. We can't give. We can't.
The young people.
No, we can't allow ourselves to lose hope, sir.
Well, that is true, but
If we lose hope, the dog is dead. Right? What we have to do
Yes, sir.
is work for something better. First of all, we have to have something better in our minds.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then we have to work to see it put into effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Mr. Perkins, it gets rough. Not tell you God truth. You couldn't rough till you drop down. Me not see no hope. No, sir, rough.
It's rough for true.
No, sir, I mean, I have to say to all Jamaicans.
But you have children?
One daughter.
One daughter.
Yes.
So what about her? How old is she?
She's 16.
16.
16.
60?
Yes.
6 not?
16.
Oh, 15. Oh.
16-year-old.
16-year-old.
16.
Yes. Well, I said that and then you kept repeating it. I thought you were saying 60.
Okay.
Well, but what about her now? What is her future going to be?
Well, she
You have to concern yourself with that.
yes. She have good brain too. She going to high school.
She going to high school
Yes.
and have good brain.
Yeah, man.
And you don't want to leave her in a country like this, so you want to try and do all you can.
Yes, sir.
To make this country into something that where she will find it possible to live a decent and comfortable life.
That's true, sir.
Isn't that so?
Yeah, but sometimes you have it hard to where I try.
Me know.
Because I do farming and all that and do little working out. I'm not sure say rough, Mr. Perkins.
Where you grow?
Mr. I do a little farming and sometimes I go
Yes, but what you grow on the farm?
Yes, I plant all different kind of things. Yam, sweet potato, all different something.
Oh.
But sometimes you even catch a crop, you know, cheap.
Uh-huh.
Yes, they're kind of hard.
Oh, boy.
But one time it wasn't so hard. I tell you, it get bad.
Bad?
Yeah, man, it gets bad. Sometimes you have a little, first time you have a little money, you can't touch up far, you know, feel the pressure, you know.
Yes.
But no matter how much you have now, you're coming like, you're in a problem same way.
Yes, well, the question is, why did it come to this?
Alright.
Why did it come
we can say to our voters in the next election, we have to see what we can do because
absolutely.
This government, we know we're under this government at all.
You don't think so?
No, sir. Then say Mr. Patterson did bad, but me I tell you, sir, this is a woman I was, sir.
Sister P?
Yeah, man, she was.
Why?
At least when Mr. Patterson was there, me I tell you the truth, he couldn't eat and drink good and everything, and from pressure take over. Boy, all this Christmas kind of worst Christmas me ever seen in my life. Can no work, nothing.
Boy, it's very serious.
It's serious, sir.
But you can't give up hope, man.
No, you can't give up still, but sometimes you have to think about the old people, the whole life, they don't have no family.
Yes.
And all that, and they can't work again, you know?
Yes.
And everything is so expensive.
Yes, quite true.
You know? Because for 2 or 3 you live and you have $1,3,000 and go to supermarket, you still found one. So I have to consider about the whole life, they don't have no pitney. And all them things there, you know, how they manage.
Yes.
You're rough, Mr. You're rough.
It's very bad.
That's all I can say, sir, to Jamaicans, the voters. You have to hope them, we have to open our eyes to the next election. We have to try something new. Because this can't continue. No, sir, it can't continue. All those things.
Yes, well.
Everybody calling a bad road and this and that. And it can't work, Mr. Perkins. It cannot work. We have to open our eyes.
Yes, quite true.
Yes. You have a nice day, sir.
Okay.
And I enjoy your program.
Okay, thank you very much.
Continue.
And all the best to you. Okay, hello?
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 Yes?
Want you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
How are you this morning?
Not too bad. You?
Listening to you. I hope they're hearing you.
No, your voice has gone down.
You hear me now?
Yes.
I'm saying, I'm hoping that certain people...
Speak up, speak up. Speak up, man.
I guess the line is kind of low.
Eh?
I'm assuming that the line is kind of low.
The line is a little low then, if that is what it is. But speak up and speak directly into the mouthpiece.
All right, you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, good.
Keep it there.
I'm saying, I'm hoping that they're listening. You get to me?
Are you listening to the radio?
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying, that last call.
I'm having difficulty with you.
All right, I'll hang up and call you back.
Okay, good. Okay, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning to you, Mom.
Morning, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, let me turn down this credit. Mr. House going to be on so quick. Yes, Mr. Perkins. Morning.
Morning.
I hear some prediction going on. And I heard people saying that you are involved in those predictions.
I am involved in those predictions?
Your name has been
Meaning what?
About the...
I have made no predictions.
No, not you. About the talk show host.
Oh, hold on a little bit for me. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. And you know, I gather that people in the Bowden Hill Road area of Stony Hill have been out of light since sometime in the afternoon or early evening yesterday, and still haven't got back lights. I wonder why. Hello?
Mutty.
Hello?
Mutty.
Yes?
I hope you hear me better now, you know.
I'm hearing you better now.
All right,
but
good.
keep your voice up, you see?
Good.
Uh-huh.
The last call that you had, that gentleman there.
Uh-huh.
Life is hard, no?
Huh?
No, he was saying whole hard.
Whole life is hard, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying to him, work towards a brighter future.
Uh-huh.
His answer, no matter how hard him work, nothing.
Yes.
Looking on the wrong picture there.
Looking on the wrong picture?
Mm-hmm.
Why you say that?
You were discussing it earlier.
Huh?
You said it earlier. If our politics is corrupt, and if we were to in fact have corrupt politicians,
uh-huh,
we need to fight to get them out.
Have to do what?
We should look towards getting them out.
Uh-huh.
And knowing what politicians are who are not corrupt.
But what you have to do, sir, is more than that. You have to make it clear.
Mm-hmm.
The people of Jamaica have to take a stand. Right? And they have to make it clear what it is that they want. That they don't want any corrupt politics and are not going to tolerate it.
What do you know what the problem
and
is?
what is more, sir? What is more? I hear people calling for the Mr. Renito Adams to be sent back out onto the streets as a policeman. Right? Do they want the policing methods of Mr. Adams? Would they like to find themselves, the people who are calling for that, would they like to find themselves victim of it? And their bodies lying down on the streets of the corporate area and dogs eating them?
What do you know what I have to say to
right?
that? You know what I have to say to that?
What?
I would love for them to answer this. Is it that you're corrupt, or are you naive?
Well,
you have to be either corrupt or totally naive. There's no gray area here. So, what's their answer?
Yes, well, if you are yourself corrupt, then when you criticize corruption, it is only because you're not getting your piece out here. Right?
What are you going to get in trouble today, no?
Eh?
You're going to get in serious trouble today, no?
Who?
Who?
Why?
Why?
What have I said?
Not what you said. What you exposed, the terms you've been using. You can't use them so loosely, you know.
Use what?
Enlightenment.
Eh?
The term enlightenment. You can't do that, you know.
Why?
Then the people might go and read and investigate.
Might what?
Idea might come to them to go and read and investigate.
Oh, yes?
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Uh-huh.
I follow you.
Just something there.
Uh-huh.
Mutty, not taking up too much of your time.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins.
Uh-huh.
I am calling on behalf of my nephew.
Yes.
Who had a government scholarship.
Uh-huh.
Right? And for the past 2 years, don't tell me the government don't have money to give him. I know he can't get money and going to school.
Can't get what?
Get the money. Last year, don't get it, and this year, I'll know they can't get it.
Well, are you serious?
Honestly. Why would I lie?
Where is he going to school? I mean, a secondary school? Or
he's going to Titchfield High School in Portland.
Yes. And they don't pay the money directly to the school?
Not as yet. Last year, they told the mother that she has to get that TRN. And she got the TRN, and up till now, Mr. Perkins, she can't get the money.
And he was told that that he was given a scholarship?
The child is in 5th form, so he's getting the scholarship since 1st form.
Hold on. She got the scholarship what?
He got the scholarship since first form. And the child is now in fifth form.
So who has been paying the fees?
The government giving the child $20,000 per year. And for last year, him don't get it, and the year before the mother don't get it.
Oh hell. I wonder to how many children that is happening.
I don't know, but I'm talking on his behalf because I know. And each time I call the ministry, they send me to an extension that I get some voicemail that they record the leave message, and the voicemail is always full.
Yes.
So I never get a chance to talk to anybody.
Oh hell.
So I don't know what is happening. I have no idea if you can assist. Because I would really appreciate it, because the mother in need of the money for the child. And next thing to Mr. Perkins. I live in a area called Stony Hill in Port Antonio. And a donkey supposed to free to walk on the road where the road bad.
In football?
The last time they fixed that road is in 1988.
Oh yes?
Yes.
If junk will fly over that road in Winbrook?
Mr. Donkey supposed to, if you're pregnant, you better walk through the bad spot. Because you're not supposed to drive in a car in that bad spot. You take your time and walk over the bad spot.
Yes.
But I'm talking about Stony Hill. Approaching Port Antonio, even in front the MP's campaign office, the only thing missing from the road is some fish.
Is what?
Right before Hill Prep School. I think they dig up the road to fix the pipelines. And a lot of shingles and water in the road for months. And the only thing that's missing from the road is some fish to remind you of a river.
Yes.
So I don't know. I really don't know what is happening in Jamaica.
Why?
And I see no reason to vote.
No,
many times I listen to you, you said vote for Jamaica, but I want to vote for Stony Hill. Give me a chance to see what is happening even in my district, and I take it out further.
But if you don't vote, Mom, then you are leaving the thing up. You're not participating in the process by which all this might be dealt with.
Mr. Perkins, trust me, I don't have any hope in Jamaica. I don't see any reason to vote.
Oh well.
I have no reason to vote.
So when you're going to migrate?
Mr. Perkins, I don't mind if I could get a visa right now, I disappear. Until even probably I can go elsewhere where life is much better.
I see.
Put young people
but hold on a little bit. Do you think that people of that country or those countries to which you would wish to go, do you think that if they behaved as you are behaving, right? Don't take any interest, don't vote. And if things go bad, you just go somewhere else and migrate to somewhere else. You think hold on, you think if they had behaved like that, you would now be wanting to go to their country?
I am not saying that, Mr. Perkins. But when you look on what is happening in Jamaica today, you're really left, you're not given no other reason to think otherwise. Let me try somewhere else and see. Because I don't know what is happening here. Honestly, I don't know what is happening.
Well, one of the things that is happening in Jamaica is that the people of Jamaica are allowing these things to happen.
That is true.
Yes.
You're correct.
Well, think about your role in it.
You're right.
Okay.
But even the simple case, just look at my nephew. For the past two years.
Yes.
He got a scholarship, and now no, him can't get the money.
Yes. Yes. Well, I suppose they will tell you they don't have the money.
Well, instead I give back traffic bureau the money, I definitely take 20,000. I give my nephew probably help him out.
But they have not given back the money to traffic bureau.
They still don't get it back.
Yes.
Mr. Perkins, I'm going to ask you for some assistance on this. I don't know if I can leave my number.
Yes, I'll ask you to leave it to somebody to take it off there.
I'd really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks much.
Okay, hello? Okay, it's time for the news, eh? I'll have to leave you at this point. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here online. Hello?
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 Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins. First, hello?
Not hearing you very clearly.
First time on your program, sir.
Yes, but would you speak up for me?
Pardon me?
Yes, keep your voice there.
I'm calling from Sablamar, sir.
Yes. Yes, you're calling from Sablamar?
Yes, sir. Last night I live on Beckford Street.
On Beckford Street?
Yeah. Last night I have a bar next door to my house. Last night some police came by. They stopped out by the intersection, right in thing there. They were out there searching a guy. So some guys down by my shop was watching. And they were there beating up the guy and stuff like that. One of the police officers turned around, saw the guys watching him, ordered the guys them off the road. They walk off the road to come in the shop to buy what they want. The police guy bust a shot in the ear, leaving his colleague in the van out there, walked down about 40 to 45 chains down to my shop. Come down there, and he was like, go on the yard, and lock up this BC shop now. That's how he come down and behave.
Yeah.
My husband came out of the house, standing at the gate. And
what time was this?
This was about after 10. Right?
Is there any limit on the hours that you may keep your shop open?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock?
Yeah.
And the policeman is telling you to lock it up at 12 after 10?
Yeah. But his colleagues weren't with him. Him alone walked down from up by the intersection there in thing and come all the way down. He called about 45 chains. He walked down and he come down and he start cussing bad word and carry on. And right away he come down and drape up my husband in his stomach, in the yard. And Donovan was like, why you harass me? Why you do this? Me I go lock you up to curse bad word. Because Donovan said, why you have to curse the bad word? Because Donovan repeat the bad word to him and say, why you behave so? He come down and drape him up and have down the M16 in the man's face.
My God.
You know, Mr. Perkins, have done the gun in the man's face. So, boy, me will shoot you, boy, me will shoot you. And come on, boy, if you ever see how the shirt wrinkle up and drag up and stay. Me go out there no one attend, say, let go the man. The other guys, them out there say, let go the man, a decent man, the man not do nothing. Right? In colleague, them still park up the top, and him down there go on the most way. You think a big man can't go to jail. Everybody a criminal to me right now. Right? And then the other guys then drive down. When they drive down, one of them come out and say, you can't do this to Mr. Miller. We know Mr. Miller decent, somebody, what you do? The guy take out the M16 from him, Mr. Perkins, and he take out E9. And that's why you have your point in everybody's face, how we dead, and tell me how him a go bust up my face. Him a go bust up my face and how is me not lock up my shop.
This was at the police station?
Pardon me?
Was that at the police station?
No, same place on my premises. And how him a go mash up my shop and him not lock up his shop, him a go mash up every BC thing in it. Right? And after that, the guy, the friend take away the 9 from him. And is another gun he come out with Mr. Perkins and try push the gun in my husband's pocket.
Oh, yes?
Yes. All of the guy them out there and his friend...
Hold on. Who was it that took away the gun from him?
His colleague took away the 2 gun from him.
First the M16.
Yes.
Or the big one.
Yes.
The rifle.
And then the other
one. And then
Right, and then he
took out another gun.
Yes, I try squeeze it down in my husband's pocket.
Oh, that must be the sweetie.
Yes, that is the sweetie. And the friends in colleagues said to him, say, man, what you do? What that you do? Right, he even sent the pepper spray. I sent the pepper spray for spray in my husband here. And I thought about if we don't lock up shop, I'm going to mash up shop and everybody a gunman to him right now. And I saw him behave. You told me husband in his face.
But did he smell of liquor?
He just smell frowns like he no beard for a couple days. But me tell him, Mr. Perkins, he look like he up on coke.
Well, I was wondering because, that doesn't sound like the action of a sane man.
No, it don't sound so because everybody I wonder why my behave and in colleague they're not behaving like that. Right? And when everything done, he haul him to go put him in the vehicle. And the guy then said, well, you're going to lock up the man for do nothing. Evening colleague them I said that to him. And he still insists on a sense of pepper spray and want to push the man in at the back of the vehicle, the back of the jeep. And eventually, his friend then talked to him and he let him go. So me say,
eventually what happened?
Pardon me?
Eventually what happened?
He let him go. So I said to him, you know something, go down a station, go report him because these police are doing a whole lot of wrongs. And then when them do for them wrongs, they make the good one look bad. So he went down at the station to report it. Him lock up, him go down, they go report, say Donovan curse bad word, and I resist arrest up here. So eventually, everybody coming in at the station, know Donovan and know him as a decent person. I say, Mr. Miller, what you are doing here? What happened to you? So it's like he feel bad, so he don't know what he do now because he say he do something wrong. What he did now was press charge. Say Donovan curse bad word and I resist arrest.
He pressed charges?
Yes, he said Donovan I resist arrest. And curse indecent language. So the policeman they must tell him, say, all right, if you lock up the man, lock him up and give me one bail. And that is what happened, right? So my son go down there because my 14-year-old son out there too, and I hear everything, I'll see him when he might try push the gun in daddy pocket. When the little boy go down the station, his father go tell the little boy, say, well, you little youth, what you are doing down here, you fit there your yard. Mr. Perkins, nobody uptown now go on with nothing. Them the police like that are them cause all of the crime in the place. That they don't know to deal with people.
Yes.
Y'all 70-year-old man and them a style them as boy. You can't do that. You can't disrespect people like that.
What you know, Mom?
Hello?
When the police, you tell me, the story that you tell me. This man is coming and attacking your husband.
Yes.
Right? His colleagues tell him not to do it. The man has done nothing.
Right.
Leave the man alone. Right? When your husband goes down to the police station, he decides to press charges against him.
Yes.
And his colleagues then tell him, the very same ones who told him that the man had done nothing, leave the man alone.
Yeah.
And they were witnesses to all that happened.
Yeah.
They stayed there and told him, all right, if you want, lock up the man and give him all bail.
Yeah, because eventually he still insists on locking him up.
Well, what you are telling me is a tale of corruption.
Yeah, they're corrupt. The whole of them corrupt. You understand me?
And then when they finish now, when they do that, they're going to want you to cooperate with them in some other way, respect?
Yeah, that's what, because when everything happened out there and after I try pushing the gun in the pocket and all of that, Mr. Perkins, I called 911 and I spoke to a young man, right? And he said, he's not supposed to behave like that. In not even that, but him a bus shot right in the intersection in the Texaco station and the Shell station. Right there, so the guy bust the shot. Nobody know if I up he go sideways or where. Right? So the man say, we must make sure, so my husband, go down a station, go to him lawyer this morning, and go Monty, go be, I'm supposed to call you and tell you.
So your husband has been to see a lawyer?
Yes, and the lawyer said must go and get a certificate and go to Montego Bay and then come back to him.
Go to Montego Bay for what?
I think some office over there where you're supposed to go and report whatever they do down here. Report it over there and then come back to him, the lawyer.
Look here, Mom. The people them dead at Crawl. What happened?
No come out of it, Mr. Perkins.
The people them dead at Britain. What happened?
No come out of it.
The people them dead at Tivoli Gardens. What happened?
No happened. So it makes it better.
The little girl dead in
nobody not take up nothing
in a trench town. What's her name? Janice Allen. What happened?
Hello?
Boy, I tell you something. Your country is in a mess.
Yes, it is in a mess. It is in a mess. A majority of what is going on, as some of the police, them are cast the youth, them fear take up in their hand in Mr. Perkins. What are going on with the young youth, them nowadays? A police like that guy last night make the youth, them have to do certain things. Because whenever anything happens, they don't have no right to get to the youth. Them I say, you better we take up things in our hand. Because if you go to station, certain police are disrespect them and, you know, they don't know if to talk to people. And when things get out of hand, they want to go around and shoot down innocent people. That can't work. Because last night when he point the gun, he could have easily well go off, you know.
Yes.
He could have easily well go off last night.
Then you'd have heard that he pointed a gun at the police?
Yeah, pardon me?
You would then have heard that he had pointed a gun at the police.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. Exactly.
And the sweetie was there. The sweetie was there to be taken up, no?
Yeah, the sweetie was right there because of the sweetie might try squeezing at the pocket.
Oh, my God.
You see, whole place is corrupt and enough when they come down here, they don't want to leave because enough slackness them a keep up. Enough slackness them a keep up, Mr. Perkins. And the policeman in number crossing chest.
Yes.
Right? In number crossing chest at 11,697.
Well, Mom.
Pardon me?
Well, I think your husband should explore with the lawyer.
Yeah.
The issue of taking it beyond a mere defense of the indecent language. No, hold on a little bit. Where was all this going on?
Pardon me?
Where was all this going on? In your yard?
Yes, in my yard, off the street.
And your husband was in your yard?
Inside of the yard.
Well, you know, I am wondering. Your husband is accused of using bad words.
Yes.
Indecent language.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
I am wondering whether a man using indecent language in his own yard is subject to criminal prosecution.
I don't know. That is what I'm wondering myself.
I would love to check that with a lawyer. I'm under the impression that it is an offense only in a public place.
You see, that's how they behave. Mr. The boy are going
and the question arises, what was the policeman doing in your yard?
You know, have just come to make mischief, that's all me can say.
Huh? And if I'm right in that, then it seems to me that there might be some civil action that he could take against that policeman.
Yeah, that's exactly what me I gotta do because me now make you go like that because he thumped me in his face and right now he say around right when he
hit him in his face?
Yes, because when he grab him up, he push his hand and lick him round in his right cheek.
Well, Mom.
Right now he's at the doctor getting a certificate to carry back to the lawyer.
Yes. No, I think you should discuss all that aspect of it with the lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes, Mr.
And keep us posted, no?
Yes, sir. I'll let you know what happens.
Let us know what happens.
Yeah, all right. And thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Oh, they're going to want those people now to cooperate with the police, no? And give them information and all the rest of it. Okay, hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Africa Love.
Huh?
Africa Love. Do you hear Mr. Perkins?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Perkins?
Yes, sir.
I want to just ask you some question. I want you to really lobby about some things. Do you believe that the people of Jamaica have a true enemy?
Have what?
A true enemy, whether they are Christian, whether they are PNP, whether they are JLP, or whether, you know what I mean? Do you believe that they have a true enemy?
A true enemy?
Yeah, enemy.
Do you believe they have a true enemy?
Of course, Mr. Perkins.
Who is their enemy?
Okay, Mr. Perkins. First, I will let you know that the people were taught to believe that they are enemies of themselves.
Oh, is that so?
They were taught to believe enemies of themselves.
I follow you.
You will accept that?
Who taught them that?
Okay, Mr. Perkins. I see you accept what I'm saying.
Hold on just a moment for me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Back here.
Hello, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Perkins, we were saying that you'll agree with me that the people have enemy. Yeah, and you were speaking about how the enemy appears. Yeah, well, all right now, Mr. Perkins. Listen to me very carefully now. I'm going to name you 4 enemies of the people. And I need you to give me a positive answer towards it. Enemy number 1, party politics.
Party politics.
Enemy number 2, the administration of their religion. Enemy number 3, the administration of their education. And a very big corrupt society. Now, Mr. Perkins.
Yeah?
I don't know if you agree with me, but I'd like you to give me a comment. Just a brief comment.
Well, I tell you something, sir.
Yeah.
There is party politics in the United States, party politics in Barbados, in Trinidad, in Britain, in Germany, in France, all over the world.
Yeah. And it's also
do you
in
think
Jamaica.
that in those places...
Also in Jamaica.
I beg your pardon?
It's also in Jamaica.
Also in Jamaica?
Yes.
Do you think that in those places, is there any evidence that in those places party politics is the enemy of the people?
Mr. Perkins, I'm putting a higher extreme. Let us examine Bush. Listen, Mr. Perkins, don't go in that. Don't carry me in them things, sir.
Well, hold on, sir.
President
hold on. Party politics. Party politics.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
You have put a thing to me. And could you allow me to answer what you have said? Yes, and you speak about what is going on. I said, America, which is one of the most, let me not say intelligent, the greatest country in the world, more educated, more everything.
All right.
What have George Bush have done to Saddam and the people? Who's going to try him? It has got nearly 1 million people like baby everything. This to Mr. Perkins. I'm going to let him do something with that.
But that is that is the fault of... That may be the fault of Mr. George Bush, sir. Is it the fault of party politics?
That is the fault of the system will exist, and the same system.
And may I ask you, who is it that activates party politics? Is it the people? Is it the same people that you're saying party politics is the enemy of?
Listen, we could get to that now. We could make a clearance on that. I spoke to you already, from 1962. There have never been a government from Jamaica. It's 2 parties. The 2 party of Jamaica is responsible. When I speak of party politics.
So why don't you come out and found another party?
What is it,
why don't you come out and found another party?
Another party? No, man. The Constitution. The Constitution don't make no provision for our next party beside the PNP and the JLP.
No, sir, that's not true. The Constitution...
Many party try to find. Listen, not evil. Marcus gave a party.
The Constitution of Jamaica does not mention...
The party could have moved the JLP and the PNP thing. The PNP thing is a thing when you come to about you want to come farm the party. And that's what I deal with. We are dealing with justice. Now I ask that thing, may I identify 4 enemies of the people. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, just don't agree with me.
No, but
you understand me? No, look, let me check crime now. Wait, what I mean now? Let me look on crime. One time I asked you a question, And shortly after that, you cut off my phone.
I did?
Yes? Well, I don't know if it's you, but the phone cut off. And I go blame you because I have you as a man. I'm a very intelligent man, And so most of what you saying is what you have taught me. You realize that?
No, I didn't realize that.
Most of what I'm saying to you is what you have taught me. By just listening to you.
I see.
You know what I mean?
What? I heard you.
You know what I say?
I heard you.
Yes. No, Mr. Perkins. We are talking about crime. I'm going to ask you the next thing, Mr. Perkins. I want you to give me a talk on it. And the people in a fight and kill them one another and then them blame the party. They call it domestic this and that. When last you hear a motive established where that was a political killing in concern of the JLP and the PNP?
Well,
the amount of people who were dead last year and who dead already. Eh?
But it seems to me that to do that you need evidence.
Evidence?
Yes.
Look, man. Look, Mr. Perkins.
You don't think evidence is necessary?
You're a man, you know. You talk about the Constitution. I won't keep you no longer. You talk about the Constitution. The amendment of the Constitution is not for PNP and JP party, you know. The amendment of the country for the people.
The Constitution does not mention any political party, sir.
Eh?
The Constitution does not mention political parties. The words political party do not appear in the Constitution.
No, okay, that is even more better. What is they running this country, not it? And it's so much unconstitutional. And you know, to show it up on an next sense, education is dangerous. So to live at universities, where one could have used the Constitution to carry the people in to fight and kill them one another. And I deal with a corrupt system all over. It's not a matter of the PNP. It's a matter that come from both JLP and PNP. This is an organized thing. It's a thing where, yes, we must hold them, and they mean it.
So you think that the violence and crime that are going on in the country at the moment is being driven by what? Is being driven by desire to embarrass the government.
Politically motivated to undermine
the government.
To discredit while looking political mileage.
To undermine the government.
And to discredit the security force. While giving political mileage.
I see. And that is being done by the opposition.
No. Opposition. So,
who is doing it? Who is doing it?
We can speak of opposition and we are going to know the unknown force.
Which unknown force?
We can speak of the PNP and we don't know, so we don't know we are going to know the unknown force. We first discuss America and what America do.
Oh? America is involved?
People talk about it because we have some guys who just come on the road and talk one pack of hypocrisy. You tell me something, Mr. Perkins. You don't want a government. But I can tell you some go back to IMF. We don't want a government to say, you hear me? You could chop out them land there. You could plant some farm, you could build some resources. You could have things to compete with the American dollar. You need some things of substance, not ideology. That's just how we were big IMF. IMF did to we from years gone by.
So you are you're a supporter of the governing party.
If I am a supporter, I am a supporter. We are a supporter. His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I.
But Emperor Haile Selassie I.
We see where all we are going. From even the educational, the university level. Who say when I watch the Ethiopian and African brother around innocently to give them little momentum. But that we are telling them upon, you know.
So what His Excellency Haile Selassie I is telling you to support which of the parties?
No, let me know. When it comes to Selassie, you don't know Selassie. Rasta tell the world about Selassie. The world knows nothing about Selassie.
Who?
You don't come to me no Selassie thing. The world, a Rasta established Selassie as the Almighty. And there is a book written about that. The guy not teach with that.
Then, could I ask you a question?
No, little guy, or some guy, look go in some dirty thing, you know, Perkins.
But could I ask you a question? If Haile Selassie I is the Almighty, Then why did he have to run when the Italians came into Ethiopia?
Because the people don't know nothing about Selassie. I come to Selassie now. I just say, me a madman. And I am to listen to me, man. Me say the world know nothing about Selassie. The Rasta know about Selassie.
Yes, I know. So that's why I asked you the question.
Man. I'm not to nobody when I know nothing about Selassie. Anytime we talk about Selassie, we talk about the people who know about Selassie. I mean, the care of the Almighty, you know, macro, political, religious. Look, man, and him inventory and him discovery have come to zero, including religion. You agree with me? Man,
I hear you.
Inventory and him discovery. See?
Yeah.
And him inventory has come to zero, including religion.
I see.
This is you agree with me?
All right, sir, I find it an interesting observation. But I have to leave you now, eh? Thank you very much for calling. Okay, thank you very much. Back here. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Not bad at all.
Good.
The other day you said something that had me thinking. Now, what is your definition of history?
Of what?
History.
History?
Yeah.
Well, history is the record of man's traverse from the cave to the skyscraper, and I suppose to the moon, as he's going nowadays, and beyond.
Well, to me, history is basically either verbal or written.
It's what?
Is it a verbal account or a written account of what has happened in the life of a people or a country?
Yes, it's a record. It's a history. Is the record of man's.
Yes.
You know. As I say, his traverse.
Which do you think is the more reliable source?
What?
Which is more reliable, the verbal account or the written account?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what verbal account. I mean,
before there was a written word,
But hold on.
Yeah.
History is history.
Yeah.
I suppose, whether it is written or spoken.
Well, I don't have a problem. I have a problem with the spoken
only
history.
question that arises is its accuracy.
Yeah, the spoken history tends to change with the duration of time, and after a while, it relapses into a grand story or some kind of myth, unrelated and irrelevant to the present living condition. Now,
I see.
What is it that disqualifies the book of Genesis from being classified as a history book?
It is not history, sir.
The book of Genesis, Mr. Perkins?
Is not history, no.
So what is it?
Well, it's a story written by some person.
And you're saying that these stories are unrelated
trying to explain. Hold on just a moment.
Okay.
Trying to explain the world that he saw around him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It is not scientific.
Oh.
It is not factual.
You mean the book of Genesis?
Yes,
it's neither
not
scientific nor factual. You're saying that the book of Genesis is neither scientific nor factual.
It is a person.
Mr. Perkins, did you really read the book of Genesis?
Yes.
The book of Genesis is filled with the history of not only individuals, but of peoples and countries as well.
Yes.
Are you saying that the characters such as Adam, Noah,
the methodology...
Abraham,
yes, sir.
Moses. Are you saying that these are fictitious characters made up by men who didn't have anything better to do?
They may well be.
Then are you saying that people like the Jews are living a lie? Because these people...
Look here. Yeah. All peoples have had myths to explain their own existence and their, So the Japanese, for example, believe, I think, that they came out of the sun or something like that.
So then, the people who are calling
all peoples have had such myths.
So the people who are presently calling themselves Jews, are really living a lie.
I don't know that they're living a lie, no.
I mean, if the characters, if Abraham is not a...
I wouldn't put it that way,
If Abraham or Isaac,
look,
or
sir,
Jacob.
Look.
Yeah.
The peoples have had mythologies, right? In an attempt to explain their own origin.
Right? Mr. Perkins, you start history at the wrong place, you know. You started in the cave.
I started where?
You start history in the caves of Europe.
No, I don't think it's in the caves of Europe.
Yes.
Why in the caves of Europe?
Because that is where you base your origin of history. That is where it
I never said anything like that.
You said something about the caves?
Yes, what I'm explaining, what I'm referring to, sir.
To the moon?
No, it is the primitive state of man, right?
Yes.
In his origin. When he was a hunter and a gatherer, and if he was going to have shelter, he had to find some cave or something like that, until he came to the point of building some
at what point when mankind
house of some kind for himself.
Do you know exactly at what point in time mankind took to the caves?
Took to the caves?
Yeah. They used to walk about just like any other animal, eating food.
Yes, indeed.
But there was a point in time, and I think that is when that flood, that Noah flood, that most animals, in order to escape the flood, had to climb to higher regions. And even after the flood, some people remain in the caves, but it wasn't like that with the Africans. The Africans did not decide to live it out in the caves after the flood. They came back down into the valleys, particularly the regions of the Nile Valley, and they started a civilization there that up to this very day, Europe is still benefiting from it.
Oh, is that so?
You see, you want to put history entirely, you want to make history revolve around the European race. And
I never said any such thing, sir.
I'm of the opinion, Mr. Perkins, that the only reason
history is the story of man.
Yes.
Not necessarily of European man.
What makes you think that
not exclusively of European
What makes you think that...
But I just mentioned the Japanese a while ago.
What makes you think that the book of Genesis is unrelated to the history of man?
Because it is not, there's no evidence.
But Mr. Perkins...
There's no evidence that supports
man was before science, And in fact, if you think that science is as great as...
Anyway, look here, sir.
Yes.
Believe what you want to believe about it. Okay?
But,
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, I understand. But you cannot see history from one light, Mr. Perkins. I believe that if the book of Genesis was conceived on the continent of Europe, and if the characters thereof were white people or Europeans, you probably would have been a very religious man today,
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Well, if you believe that and are comfortable with it, go right ahead.
The entire book of Genesis was written and played out in the Nile Valley. It was Africans who wrote the Bible.
Oh, is that so?
Yes. I know that seems ridiculous, Mr. Perkins. But if you understand the land and the people.
But I thought you said a moment ago that the Jewish people were living a lie.
You see, you believe that what the people who call themselves Jews now shall only European extracts. You believe that they were the genuine Jews. So what do you think of these?
The Jews are of European extract?
Well, they are the ones who want to make a racial issue out of
being a Jew. I tell you something, so your knowledge of these matters leaves a lot to be desired.
What about Ethiopian Jew, Mr. Perkins? Of what race do the Ethiopian Jews belong to?
The Ethiopian Jews?
Yes.
I think they are accepted as Jews.
They are not of the African race.
They're Jews, sir, according... They claim themselves to be Jews, and the Jews
and Solomon.
As far as I know.
And Solomon is concerned. You are saying that Solomon was of a European extract too?
He was of European extraction?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
So of what race did Solomon belong to?
I think that he was Semitic.
Mr. Perkins, don't use semantics with words, because Semitic mean nothing.
He was what?
Solomon himself was of an African extract. He was an Israelite, not a Jew.
I see. All All right, so if you're comfortable with that, fine.
No, Mr. You have to have that, because unless the white man acknowledges the accomplishment of the historical accomplishment of the black man, he will continue to live into this kind of fantasy world, in which he's trying to recolor and reshape and retell history to suit his own inferiority.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir Perkins.
Yes, sir.
Good day, Mr. Perkins.
Good day to you, sir.
Yes. Yes, you see, when I'm talking about Selassie, Mr. Perkins, because Selassie is not almighty, Mr. Perkins.
He's not almighty.
Selassie dead long time, almighty can't die,
Yes, sir, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, then, but I really don't know what I'm talking about still. That's it. About the economy and Jamaica now and the economy. You see, how economy progress is better is the building of institutions. Like, okay, say for instance, Mr. Perkins, I don't really like to call people pay shanty towns still, but I'm going to make reference to that. Say the people that mean the shanty town, they're not going to go up a courts, and they're not going to buy no nice, decent couch to put in it. They must have decent, better standard. The people them is like them ambitious, they must uplift the standard for things to go and progress forward. Make people have a little work, and then some man at work and get a little furniture this and get a little TV next month and get a thing, and the economy will grow constantly.
Hello?
What you say, Mr. Perkins?
Yes, that the Jamaican economy is growing constantly?
No, if it's gonna, that's what it needs to grow constant.
If what?
It's not growing.
It is not growing.
It's like the people, alright, you see, because the people education level is so low.
That is part of the problem.
Half of the society working, and the next half, not nothing. So the most intelligent people, them have a job already, and them all live decent life. But the rest of people have to step up, because the people in the shanty town, them have to, have a little better standard of living to uplift them, where them can go coats and hold a couch and hold a little TV and whatever they want to buy. And then that's how the economy gets strong and progress. But those things are not happening, so therefore that's why the economy now lives to its fullest potential.
Well, that's, I suppose, a part of the reason, but or an effect of the economy not growing and developing. But you know, sir, our basic problem in this country, you see, is that we haven't... Hold on just a moment for me. Okay, thank you very much. Back online. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. Here again with you. Yeah, as I was saying, and basically I was saying about the economy and thing, and you were saying something when you're doing to a break.
Yes, I was saying that the economy of Jamaica, sir, is like an old donkey cart. Right? And what they are entirely focused on is how to get this old donkey cart to continue functioning. Right? But we need to go beyond that. We need to find out how we're going to get ourselves a modern motor vehicle, which will enable us to do far more than the old donkey cart allows us to do.
Yeah.
Right?
The situation is just so
in other words,
terrible,
In other words, we need to look in terms of economic development rather than just economic growth.
Yeah,
and I mention on this program all the time the experience of Singapore under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, right? And why
exceptionally well.
Why our leaders are not looking at that kind of development? Right? We're not looking at that kind of development at all. We are happy when, or we, gladly proclaim that the economy is likely to grow 3% this year.
Development such as like the highway system, we need to think, Mr. Perkins, we do things half and half, eh? Yeah, we don't see things to its fullest conclusion. All the investment, we can't be borrowing money to pay our bills. If you borrow money, put it into something with advance us, like say that.
Well, part of the reason is that Dr. Davis has plunged us in so much debt that all the money that we earn is servicing debt.
Those people can pay tax.
And we have to borrow more to live.
Go ahead, Mr. Say again, Mr. Perkins?
Oh, he seems to have gone. We seem to have lost him. Okay. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I heard earlier on you meant a lady called something about a problem with a justice of the peace for a certain parish.
Yes.
No, I was just wondering that, there's a custos for the parish who sort of represents the
He's the chief
general,
of the justices.
and is more or less the senior justice of the peace of the parish.
Yes.
No, I was thinking
yes, you're absolutely right. I didn't think of that.
Yes.
He's probably the person.
I happen to be a GP myself,
Yes.
So I was just wondering that instead of trying to get the justice ministry, which might be a little bit difficult,
yes,
she could contact the.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much.
She could get some redress from that.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, sir.
Yes, you're right. Okay, I hope that the lady is listening and heard that. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Perkins.
I
heard something a while ago regarding that lady you're telling you about her, this policeman and her husband.
Yes.
Well, I'm not a lawyer, sir. But I've witnessed something and it went through the court.
You what?
I've witnessed something
that
went through the court in about the mid-70s.
Yes.
The only way a policeman can charge anyone for cursing bad words in his own home unless the law has been changed in 1976.
Absolutely. That's my understanding.
The policeman charged the gentleman, served him summons, he went to court.
Yes.
And the judge told him there's no case because you cannot convict somebody for cursing in decent language.
In fact, sir, the illegality of bad words falls under the Public Order Act.
Of course.
Yes. And it therefore relates to the use of such language in public places.
That's right.
Yes. I think so. I think you're right on that.
I know I'm perfectly right, sir, because I heard the case.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All the best to you. Okay, hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am calling because on behalf of coffee farmers, we can't hear anything from the authorities in the coffee. And the farmers have a problem. As you well know, and I've said on many occasions, that the farmers didn't tell the coffee how, where, or when to insure the thing.
To take your money?
And the fact that the insurance scheme collapsed is no fault of theirs.
Yes.
The government came in sometime last year and did an interim payment of 45% of what we are due. Could you ask the government what about the other 45%? The other 55%, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
That should be due and payable.
Yes. Yes, but I tell you something. You know, some people in this country put up with too much, you know. They don't take action to uphold their rights. I don't see how the government can authorize the coffee board to take your money away from you without asking you any question. Right? They deduct this from your money.
Yes.
And then say that they're doing so to insure your coffee. And then when you have a prop disaster like you had in with
2004.
Ivan
in 2004.
With Ivan in 2004, yes. They tell you that something went wrong with the company and therefore they can't pay you. You didn't tell them to insure with that.
Yes, we need the other 55%. They came, some people haven't even gotten.
Yes.
They're due from the 45%.
And let me ask you something.
That was paid.
When you now go and you get a new crop and you are selling that crop, the coffee board compels you to sell to them. On the law, you're compelled to sell to the coffee board.
Well, there are other entities to which you can sell to. You're not compelled to sell to them.
Oh, you're not compelled to sell to them anymore.
That they have a jurisdiction over every single grower insofar as it concerns a cess that is paid to the CIB.
Oh, you have to pay the cess.
And when the insurance scheme was a reality, it now is not a reality. When the insurance scheme was a reality, the premiums were pre-deducted from your coffee sales.
Yes.
Before that the proceeds came to you, the farmer.
Yes. So are they still deducting something for insurance?
No, not to my knowledge.
Oh, they're stopped now.
Because there is no insurance. We are as vulnerable as the North Star.
Yes. Well, you don't have a coffee growers association, do you?
Yes. It's not a very. It needs more organization. Perhaps we'll get that done for this year.
Well, maybe that's what you ought to try to do.
In the meantime,
government has 55% of your money.
Right.
Or at any rate, it's holding back on 55% of it.
Yes.
I suppose I can only assume that the government recognizes its liability in this matter. Right?
Well, then if it recognizes the liability, it should do the honorable thing and pay the money.
Yes, but then Omar Davis is going to tell you.
There's supposed to be an appeal on the part of the dire liquidators. And I don't know how long an appeal takes.
Yes, but that is not your business. You're no business with that.
This
you had any arrangement with that?
Month and year to year, and it's drawing out forever.
Yes.
Without any hope of a conclusion.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with you. You had no arrangement with Dal.
None whatever.
Okay. So what the outcome of that is not your business.
You think you could try again? I've heard Honorable Roger Clark on the program. You want to try him again for?
Yes. Okay. I'll have a shot at getting him. Okay.
All right then.
He comes for what he wants to come for, and I'm not sure that he will come for what he doesn't want to come for. Anyway, we'll have a shot at him.
Please.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. As a matter of fact, if you could get him now, it would be a good idea. In the meantime, hello?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Perkins, how are you?
How
are you today?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, okay. You seem to be getting the religion thing from all sides.
I beg your pardon?
You seem to be getting the religion thing from all sides.
Yes, indeed.
But if some of these gentlemen would argue with sobriety and factuality, I think they'd achieve more.
Well, you know how things are.
But I wonder if that one was the last one.
You mean Mr. Genesis?
Pardon?
You mean Mr. Genesis?
Yeah. If he is arguing that because Jacob and his descendants lived for 400 years in Egypt, if that is what makes Solomon to be an African.
Yes.
Anyway, I'd like to discuss for a moment certain aspects of your discussion this morning with Ms. Richards of the Lawyers Christian Council. Now, first thing on this matter of this First Amendment to the American Constitution. What that is against, really, is the development of a situation such as we have in Saudi Arabia, where Islam is the established religion.
Yes.
And the king is actually the leader of the religion.
Well, they had it in England too.
Yeah. England is we could say, is at one extreme.
They had it in Europe, sir. But Europe gave it up centuries ago. And that is part of the reason why Europe has advanced in the way that it has.
But there is one aspect of that which I'd like to discuss to some extent. You speak of the Enlightenment after the 100 Years' War.
Yes.
Now, the word enlightenment is often used to describe a religious conversion from religion of darkness, so to speak, to one.
Yes, but hold on. The word enlightenment is used in European history to describe a sequence of events that had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the opposite.
Well, what I'd like to suggest is that it indeed had to do with that. I'm suggesting that although in common parlance it is often taken as not having to do with that, I think that parlance is mistaken, and I'll show you why.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you, sir. Yes?
Yes, as I was saying.
Speak a little louder for me.
As I was saying, the dictionary defines religion as a particular system of faith and worship. Now, I'm suggesting that secularism or materialism are particular systems of faith.
What?
These are particular systems of faith.
Are they?
Not faith in the mystical, but faith in perhaps knowledge and intellect and in...
Look, sir, I'm not hearing you very clearly.
What I'm saying is that secularism and materialism are particular systems of faith. And this is in fact well recognized in the writings of H.G. Wells, Bertrand Russell, and others. So, which leads to the conclusion that so-called atheism is in fact a semantic fallacy. They're not acknowledging some mystical God, but worshipping other things as their gods.
Oh, is that so?
When you consider, whatever you put your faith in.
Yes, but in any event, the issue, that is not the issue. The issue is whether people should be free to believe what they believe, or whether their faith, what they believe, should be determined by what somebody else believes.
No, quite so. But
that is the issue.
What I'm suggesting is that this notion that there is this separation of, there may be a separation of church and state, but not a divorce of religion from government.
Is that so?
A matter of a change of type of religion.
Well, it's my impression that is what is happening in the Western world. And not happening in places like the Middle East.
No.
From which a lot of their problems derive.
What I would like to suggest is that the problem is really fixation on mistaken religion. Religion believing in the mystical and indeterminate, which cannot be proven, and which bears no rationality or even wisdom, based on people believing they have, shall we say, telephone lines to some mysterious spectre somewhere in the sky where it cannot be found.
Yes.
rather than dealing in good sense or in wisdom, which is what the Bible speaks of in many places.
Yes.
The Bible emphasizes wisdom. And even in John 1:1, which speaks of the Logos. The Logos, proper meaning of the Logos is principles of virtue.
Logos. Logos means a word.
That's the correct Latin pronunciation.
It's not Latin, it's Greek.
The subject I dropped in high school for school certificate was Latin.
Logos is not a Latin word, sir.
Sorry, yeah, it's Greek. Greek, you're right.
Anyway, I have to go. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Okay, we're going to read some email.
Good morning, Mr. Perkins, says this email. Your caller was correct yesterday. The Trelawney Stadium will see a warm-up. We'll see 4 warm-up matches. March 5th, 6th and 8th and 9th. And the opening ceremony on the 11th of March. Sabina will host 6 matches in the group stage and the semi-final for us.
It's a hell of a lot of money to spend for 3 warm-up matches and an opening ceremony. Why couldn't the opening ceremony have been held at Sabina Park?
Mr. Perkins, did you see this story about Rima and the filth that was flowing into people's houses on TV last night? Do I understand this to be the Minister of Finance's constituency?
Yes, it is. I think it is, yes.
Someone told me that it was indeed so, but I thought I must be dreaming. Then I realized that this is supposed to be a JLP enclave within that constituency.
I think it switched. It used to be a JLP enclave, but I think it went over to. I think it's voted differently in recent years.
She pointed me to an article in last Sunday's Observer, which said that this place in Rima was once a JLP stronghold. Then it went over to the PNP, and it has been returning for some time now. So we see the result of that. But I think it is disgraceful, Mr. Perkins, when we are running from all sorts of diseases. People are frightened about malaria, but that is the least of it. There is typhoid, which is carried in feces. There is a case of leptospirosis reported this morning on the news in Portmore. This cannot happen.
Well, Portmore is significant. You remember there's a flood down there, and the consequences of the flood have not been adequately dealt with. And one of the problems that I understand remains there is this problem of a lot of rubbish all over the place. And if leptospirosis is found down there, well, it tells you this probably has to do with a proliferation of rats. Where was it that we heard? Somebody was telling me about some rats. A whole lot of them. And was it, I can't remember, somewhere. Anyway.
Dear Mr. Perkins, so crime is down significantly in Jamaica, or was down last year, as we were told. But did it show the numbers for when you're robbed? Or your house is broken into? Or just murder? When you consider murder, Mr. Perkins, let us go one step further. I am robbed, raped, and then murdered. My body is hidden, and therefore I become a missing person. I am so reported by my friends and relatives. I am missing for all of 2006. Therefore, I am not part of that statistic. I have not been murdered.
No.
Now, if my body is found, now, which year statistics will the crime of murdering me be put in?
I don't know. I suppose I'm not quite sure how they handle it. But I imagine it should be at the time when you went missing.
Well then, if you put the missing persons onto the
I don't know
amount of murders last year.
But I don't know that they ever do rectify the murder figures to account for people who were missing and are found, their bodies are found. I don't know that ever happens.
Mr. Perkins, you ask about Tivali, as you pronounce it. You ask about Tivali, as you pronounce it.
As I pronounce
it. And the reason why it was
left out... I have that on the authority of Mr. Adams.
And the reason why it was left out of the list of places to be kept under strict surveillance by the police department, according to the story from the Commissioner of Police printed on page 2 in today's Daily Gleaner. May I attempt to answer that particular question? The old saying in Jamaica is that parson christened him picnic first. The way these things go is that you lock up your own criminals first. You put them in protective custody. And then you go after your real victim. The person that you intended to go for, or the persons that you intended to go for in the first place. And then nobody can point a finger at you and say that you are unfair, you are biased, you are one-sided, or you are victimizing anybody. Mr. Perkins, you can go to the lottery and buy 3 card on what I am telling you. It is word out of book. And a not na go, a something a come.
Well.
Mr. Perkins, I believe that this mail I received here is a joke. It cannot be true.
No, I didn't hear that.
I said I believe the mail which I'm going to read is a joke. It cannot be true.
Oh.
Mr. Perkins, I'm sending you the following questions and answers which were collected from last year's junior exam results, GCSEs. These are genuine responses from 16-year-old. Geography. Name the 4 seasons. Salt, pepper. The answer, salt, pepper, mustard, vinegar.
I don't believe that. That is some scriptwriter writing that for a joke.
Question. Explain one of the processes by which water can be made safe to drink. Answer. Flotation makes the water safe to drink because it removes large pollutants like grit, sand, dead sheep, and...
Flotation.
Sociology. What
sociology?
These are the questions under.
Oh, they have
there's geography, sociology. It comes under sociology.
Oh.
Sociology. Sociology, yes. Question. What guarantees may a mortgage company insist on? Answer. If you are buying a house, they will insist
They will what?
They will insist that you are well endowed. What guarantees may a mortgage company insist on? If you are buying a house, they will insist that you are well endowed. Question. In a democratic society, how important are elections? Answer. Very important. Sex can only happen when a male gets an election.
I think somebody made that up.
Well, no.
It has to
be. Technology.
Hold on.
What is a turbine?
Okay, thank you very much. We're back here with you. And we're just going to finish up that email. Giving there's some other answers that are even more hilarious than those you heard before.
Junior examples of 16-year-old, I can't believe it.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I tell you.
What is the most common form of birth control? Most people prevent contraception by wearing a condominium.
Look here. We have to keep that and read it again another occasion. But there is one there. What is a terminal illness?
Yes.
When you get ill at the airport.
What is a turbine? Something an Arab or a sheik wears on his head.
You know, is it possible that children in our schools could have been writing stuff like that? And I find it amazing, you know, that they're teaching things like sociology in the schools. Or is it so? I don't know. I thought the schools, you know, up to secondary level, children were learning the basic things of our culture, history and so on. Sociology is for when you have mastered that and mastered the language and all this kind of thing, then you go on to study things like that. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
No, I'm not hearing anybody.
Hello?
Yes? Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, Mr. Perkins.
Yes, sir.
I'm Cleveland. I'm calling from America.
Oh, welcome. Eh?
I'm Cleveland. I'm calling from America, Niagara Falls, New York.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're on holiday now?
Yes, sir. Pardon me?
You're on holiday now?
I'm not here.
Anyway, go ahead. Yes, I know.
Yes, I'm just calling about what's going on in Jamaica.
You want to find out what's going on in Jamaica?
Yeah, I'm finding out. I know because they killed one of my best friends, you and Genius. Police. They shot him. And I never scared me to come to Jamaica. But I got my family down there and my children. And what's going on down there is not right.
No, there's a lot wrong with it.
It's not right, you know, because up here, man, there's a lot of law in America. And when I was in Jamaica, I used to work at the Holiday Inn.
At the where?
I worked at Holiday Inn for 6 years.
Yes.
And in 2004, I leave Jamaica and come to America.
2004?
When I was at Jamaica, yeah, 2004. And when I was at Jamaica, man, I was working at the Holiday Inn. I'm working hard. I pay a lot of tax.
No benefit. I got to pay my children's school fee, pay bus fare. There is no benefit. And nothing. My supervisors play some dirty game, and it's like I didn't get fired, but I failed the lifeguard test. That's what she set up.
Yes.
And she didn't call me back, but she didn't know that something better was waiting for me. And I didn't tell her my business. And she didn't. I failed the lifeguard test, and she said, from you fail the test, you cannot work because your certificate, you know?
Yes.
Your certificate needs a stamp. And I was freaking, man, and I was crying, and I said, God, have mercy on me. And I get you to come here, Mr. Perkins. And I come. So all those 6 years that I work for down there, I got a little money. I got to spend it on my children. No benefits, nothing. Sometimes when some people leave Jamaica and come to America, you don't really want to say disrespect your country and left your country, but to be here, Mr. Perkins, you better sometimes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, sir, to be here, I love Jamaica to my heart.
The what?
That's my world. I love Jamaica to my heart. I love Jamaica. I love Jamaica to my heart, Mr. Perkins. But, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, sir. Speak up.
Hello? Yes, sir, I love Jamaica to my heart, sir. But
yes.
To be here sometimes, it's a little bit because there's a lot of benefits for people who work in the United States.
Yes.
You understand? You can claim tax. You got benefits. You can help your children. I'm working at the cafe and I got a lot of benefits.
Yes,
And what happened? In 1979, I was 14 years old. I know a lot of things. Cause from 1979, the most richest people have leave Jamaica and don't come back. When they was talking about the communists.
Yes.
And you know that, Mr. Perkins. You know that. The rich, you know that from 1979 when they was talking about communists in Jamaica. The richest people
a lot of people did leave Jamaica, yes.
A lot of people, rich people, who could help Jamaica better, leave Jamaica and don't come back. Especially, there's a man in Culloden, near to where they built that hotel, named Mr. Sydney. That's in property relative buyout. That man leave Jamaica, and those people could help Jamaica better. That's who don't need to leave Jamaica and come up here and work for other people.
Well, I don't know.
People don't treat.
I don't know, sir. They were not in the majority. And the majority were voting for what they wanted. And what those people didn't want.
That's true. That's true, Mr. Perkins. That's true, but that's true what you're talking, but with me right now, it's not my best thing to be here, because they don't tangle people right up here,
Yes.
And they still have racist people up here.
Yes.
They still got it here, because I remember I used to work at a place in Tonawanda. They used to put up a sign up there say, if you're black, take your ass out by 6 o'clock, leave town.
Oh, is
they
that
used
so?
to put that sign there. Not Tonawanda. It's just about 16 miles from where I live right now. And I used to work at the newspaper place. We would print newspapers. And I remember one time, I worked from 7 o'clock till 3. Sometimes depends the amount of people we have to do. And I remember one time, I have another job working at a restaurant. And we done work about 20 minutes to 3. We finished work. We finished.
Yes.
And they said, you guys can clean up the place and there's a clock out. So my people wanted that to sweep up. And the people have stand up at the time clock. And I go there, Mr. Perkins.
I clock out and I jump on the bike. The other day when I come back to work, the supervisor named Mr. Bob called me and said, Cleveland, next time if somebody clock out before you, you don't clock out.
Next time what?
So, if we finish, she said, let her repeat it to you one more time. She said, Cleveland, let somebody else clock out before you, you don't clock out.
I see.
Yeah, and about a week I leave the job. I called her in and said, I quit. And there's one more thing she said to me again when I never respect. I asked her if I can leave 5-10 minutes before my time. Is that really a convenient place for me? But I've been here to help myself and my children. And I know God gonna help me. A convenient place for me, but I've been here to help myself and my children. And I know God gonna help me. Because I put my trust and believe in God. And I'm being here to help my children, because my children are in Jamaica and I support them very good. I take the best care. Sometimes I don't even have money to pay my bills. I just send money home to the children.
And yet you prefer to stay there?
Not really. It's as long as we can accumulate something and leave. Because I got my papers, I'm a permanent resident.
Yes.
You know, but Mr. Perkins, it's me. When we be at Jamaica, the reason why I left come up here, I didn't have a job. I lose my job. I told you. I lose my job.
Yes.
And there is no other alternative. This tomorrow and come up here. I didn't have no more alternative because I didn't have a job. I lose my job 2004 April. The 16th of April, I cannot forget it. And the day when I lose a job, I work at the Holiday in Sunspring Resort in Montego Bay. The day when I lose my job, I was crying. I have on a cap and I pull the cap down over my face because tears was running out my eye. 3 sons going to school. I didn't have no alternative, Mr. Perkins. And I was looking another job and I leave Jamaica 2004, 26th of May. And I couldn't get another job. That's the time I leave Jamaica, come up here, 2004, 26th of May. And I lost my job the 16th of April, 2004.
So your sons are up there with you now?
My son is in Jamaica.
Eh?
My son in Jamaica.
Oh, they're in Jamaica.
Yes, with their mom. Taking care of.
I see.
Their mom going to college. Their mom going to some sort of college in Montego Bay.
I see.
I help her. I help her and I help my kids because she was a pre-trained teacher. You know, pre-trained teacher is nothing in Jamaica.
Yes.
You know, I'm helping her to go to college.
I see.
Even if she come out and don't remember me.
Anyway, look here, sir, we have to take a break. We have to take a break now. It's going to be a longish break, eh? All right? Okay, thank you very much. We're back online. Incidentally, the mayor of Portmore is among those persons who want to see Renito Di Cordova Valentino Adams back on the streets with his gun. Okay, hello? Hello?
Basil Buck here, man.
Hello?
Basil Buck here.
Oh, Mr. Buck, how are you?
Not too bad, sir.
I haven't heard from you for a long time, man.
Well, I'm tired of being negative, man.
You're
waiting on some positive to happen.
Oh, so you found something to be positive about now?
No.
Let's hear it, man. Come now.
You actually called me, my friend.
Look here. I called you because I heard an item of news this morning that the Bank of Jamaica had again suffered heavy trading losses last year.
Yes.
Eh?
Well, it's been going on for quite a few years. Billions of dollars.
Yes. How much was it last year?
2 point something billion.
Okay.
It's one point something this year. It's a combination, Mutty, of the mopping up of liquidity exercise and the amassing of foreign exchange to protect the exchange rate. In the case of the exchange rate, they're buying dollars with money that costs them 10-12%, and they're only getting 3-4% on it.
They're only getting what?
3-4% on it in New York.
Yes.
And
they're borrowing at what?
10-12%.
10-12%.
Yeah.
And they're putting it out at 3-4%. Look here, mister.
It's been going on for years.
Yeah, I know it has been going on for years. The question is, for how many years is it going to continue to go on?
Well, this is the whole point, because what happens is that it gets hidden every year because it is cleaned out of the BOJ books and put on the government budget.
Yes.
So the BOJ has not accumulated
these losses.
So what one would have to do is to go back and check each year to find out exactly how much they lost each year. And then you'd get an accumulative sum. It's enormous. It's enormous.
But if it was 2 billion last year, over 2 billion last year, then, I mean, if this has been going on for years, this must be one hell of a sum of money.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure over the years, since I would say the early 90s, they've wrapped out over $30-40 billion worth of losses.
Anyway, the economy is about to take off.
No, sir.
Huh?
No, man, no.
Mr. Buck, I have it on good authority.
You have to do some empirical analysis, man.
I have it on the basis of somebody who relies upon empirical evidence.
Well, if he digs deep enough, he realizes that the economy is only recovering from the fallout in 2004.
Yes.
As a result of hurricanes brushing by.
Yes.
As a result of our good friend running with it and taxing our life away. Okay?
And Mr. Buck, we cannot guarantee for in any year that we won't have hurricanes brushing the island or doing worse.
We're supposed to have a permanent reserve in the budget each year.
Yes.
To deal with heavy rains or hurricanes.
But we can't afford that.
I mean, we can't afford. How can we afford anything much if we're paying the kind of money we're paying on interest? Go to the budget.
You know, Mr. Buck, this country is in a serious state, you know.
Well.
And when I hear these so-called economists discussing issues to do with the economy, one of the things that strikes the impression I have. Hold on just a moment for me, please. Okay, thank you very much. We're back with you, Mr. Buck.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was saying that when I hear these people discussing the economy, the impression I have, the picture I have in my mind, is of men considering how to get the donkey cart running, rather than thinking about how to get a modern, articulated 18-wheeler. Right? Motorized. They're not thinking in terms of that sort of transition. What they're thinking of is how to patch up the donkey cart and get it going.
If I can give you one little number.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to give you one little number.
Yes.
Okay. When I was telling the people of Jamaica all the bad things that was going on to them.
Yes.
And everybody say I'm negative and...
Oh, God, yes.
Bust my shot. But when it licked
His
them...
mouth.
His mouth. When the taxes lick them and the exchange rate adjustment lick them, you don't hear boo.
Oh, boy. But we're not going anywhere, Mr. Buck.
Of course not.
That is the point. I mean, if we were bearing hardship and saw a light at the end of the tunnel, right? That would be one thing. But people are bearing hardship, and there is no hope for the future.
No, man.
No prospect of anything better.
People are bearing hardship. So Omar can run with it. And then go run with it again.
I suspect so.
In fact, it looks to me like it has started already.
Well, but of course, them running with the Petrocaribe, they're running with the NIS fund, they're running with NHT funds.
Whole thing is a mess, Martin. Whole thing is a mess.
Boy.
And unfortunately, you can't see any light at the end of the tunnel.
But Mr. Buck, there's a difference between things being bad and things being hopeless. Right?
Well, let's put it this way, Marty. All these things have to be eventually corrected, you know. I mean, you can't go around opening up holes in an economy.
Yes.
Good. And don't expect that you're going to have to correct it and fill back the hole.
But the reason for that is that the whole point of the exercise is to retain power.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Power. So that my friends can enjoy some more of the privileges.
Oh, yes.
Make a couple more $1 billion.
Oh, yes.
While the rest stop it and hurt. But what I find very intriguing, Matthew, I saw a headline this morning in the Business of Gold Observer. Bruce Golding calls for regional stock exchange.
For what?
For regional stock exchange.
Oh, yes.
This call has been going on from early 1970.
Yes.
And we don't have it yet. 30 years.
Yes, yes.
I mean, and this is a headline story. Oh, my God.
I don't know, sir. We are in a bit of a mess.
You better believe it.
But the problem is not that we owe money or have difficulty balancing the budget or whatever, right? The problem is that we are not setting about the business of earning our way out of it, right? We have in our people our prime asset, and we are turning them into a liability. And we don't seem to understand what it is that is happening in Jamaica.
Well, Marty.
I mean, however much you owe, right? If you can get production going and improve your technology of production and so on, right? Then maybe you can earn enough to pay it off.
Well, Marty, let me put it this way.
I beg your pardon?
We just don't plan anymore in this country.
No.
I mean, when I see all these hotels, rooms that are being put down.
Yes.
Okay? And I look and I say, wait, where are they going to get this from? Where are they going to get that from? They have to import it.
Yes.
Now, has anybody correlated that drain on the foreign exchange and that drain on the external account?
And how much of the foreign exchange that is earned from tourism is staying in Jamaica?
You better believe it.
Right?
I mean, I don't know. We haven't planned anything in this country.
And we hear all these wonderful things about these record figures of tourism, right? 3 million tourists last year. 1.7 million, I believe, of them were cruise ship passengers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many of them came off of the cruise ship and landed in Jamaica?
How many did spend any money actually in Jamaica?
Yes.
Because as far as I know, the calculation of the monies is based on per head.
Look here, we talk about cruise ship here in this country, right? Some time ago we were boasting about getting, I can't remember, one day some record number of cruise ships, right? 6 or 7, something like that. A friend of mine called me from Cayman to tell me that when they get 6 or 7 on a day in Cayman, they don't think they're doing well at all. And they have no cruise ship piers. Right, there are no piers that the people can just come down the steps and walk away.
Well, that's our problem. We don't plan.
Well,
we don't
but
plan.
I don't know, sir. I think that it's not only that things are bad, but we're not really thinking about how to deal with the problem. Right?
They're too busy worrying about the 5th term, man. They're too busy worrying about the 5th term.
The 5th term, man, yes. 5th term. And the prophet says the 5th term is on. God told him so in a telephone conversation.
Too much spin doctrine going on out there, yes, huh? Too much spin doctrine.
Yes, but I tell you something. There is spin doctoring and spin doctoring. You know? When some of this spin doctoring that we hear from men who claim to be, you know, about empirical evidence and the quoting from John Maynard Keynes and all of this, that is one thing. When we hear when it reaches the point where men are coming out and telling you how they had a chat with God on the telephone last night. I think that's a different league.
Your place is going mad, Mutty. Our place is going mad.
Absolutely.
It's not just
but it's very sad, you know, so very sad because
not just
people are suffering, right?
Not just criminals are going crazy. But it's home. It's home.
Yes, well.
And
I don't know.
Live with it like me. I have my usual problem with my lights. Every time a little breeze blow, my lights go.
Your lights go?
Yeah.
Yes, you've lost your lights.
I don't know who called you, but you mentioned it this morning.
Yes, I heard it since about 6 o'clock yesterday evening.
It didn't come back until 12 o'clock today.
It what?
It didn't come back until 12 today.
Oh, it came back after 12 today?
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Almost a day, Mutty.
Yes, well, you know.
What to do?
That is another set of problems that we have in this country. We have these companies that are really sort of playing hell with us. They're making a lot of money out of us, but not really providing the service.
Well, who wouldn't do it if you are allowed
Absolutely.
to do it?
Yes. Absolutely,
That's the
sir.
bottom line.
The last concern of the Jamaican government is the welfare, well-being rights of the Jamaican people.
Ah, boy.
Yeah. Very, very sad.
So how does the new year find you, sir?
Well, not too bad. Considering what is going on in the country, you know, still managing to float. But, you know, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much.
Talk to you.
All the best to you. Okay, that brings us to the end of Perkins Online for today and indeed for the week. We look forward to being back here with you on Monday morning, the usual time, usual place. And hope, well, that's it. In the meantime. you know.